So bassy, bro. So bassy. Wow, today is gonna be a long one. Oh, I don't know if I'm ready, man. Am I ready? Am I the chosen one? Oh my god. Wowzer, wowzer, wowzer. Okay, let me see something real quick. All right, I'm just making sure everything is you're late like 5 hours? No. I announced it. See, if you were here, Hex, I announced it on Wednesday. I told everyone that Friday is going to be a little bit different because it's my niece's birthday and I was going to be doing something. So, and then instead of having a reaction day, we're going to be having a tier list day. I either said it Wednesday or Tuesday. No, I'm pretty sure it was Wednesday. I think it was Wednesday. Nonetheless, welcome in, brother. Welcome in. Yeah, today we are basically gonna be doing like this tier list, and then that's basically it. Dude, because like this tier list, right? I've been planning to do for like a couple months now. But a tier list like this is gonna take hours, man. Fucking hours. Like, I love doing tier lists. They're just tough for me because it's like it's such a big like portion of like tier listing. On top of that, right? You have my yap on top of like a big piece of like content to get through. It's kind of crazy. Oh my god. So yeah, I don't know how this is gonna go. I don't know. I have like one piece of hair that's like bothering me, bro. It's like right here. Why is it it like that, man? Why is good enough? Got a big car accident, so I needed to work. What the fuck? That's all right, brother. That's all right. I never expect you guys to be here, but I'm always happy when you guys are. And that is a fact. True fact. But as long as you're okay, brother, as long as you're okay, that's all that matters. What is this? Okay, we're gonna get started in like 1 second as well. Bro, I think someone else had like also told me they were like in a car accident not too long ago. A truck flipped 90 degrees and 5 cars crashed into it. Wait, what the fuck? Truck thought it was like Midnight Club or something. Nah, that's actually wild. So you were one of the oh, I wasn't involved. I was there because I'm a medic. Okay. I was about to say, I was like, were you involved in the car accident? Debbie man. Bro, I don't even want to like imagine what that like feels like as like a human being. Not just to be like in the car crash, but to like be there to like see the aftermath, if you will. Okay. I think we're good. Where am I? Oh shit, dude. Oh man. That's scary. Yeah, because it was a truck full with fuel, so I could have exploded, but it didn't. So yeah, extremely unlucky. What the? Took 4 hours to save everyone. Bro, there's very little I can say about that, other than like that's just crazy. It's like stuff you see in the movies, but like don't like since you've like never seen it like IRL, it just still seems like a fantasy in your brain, you know? Sadly, one kid around 2 years old died in there, but yeah, I feel so bad for the person. Oh my god. Was he buckled? I know they're like some parents that like put their kid in the car seat and then like don't buckle. My 4 years of medic, that's my first dead person. Do they like give you time off or something like that? I feel like they should. Like psychologically, they should. I see. That makes sense. Yeah. Because my girlfriend was in a car accident, like literally like just last month. Like the belt left like an entire like bruise across her chest. So that makes sense. Jesus. Yeah, that's so sad. I don't want to take time off work. Someone else could lose a kid, so I need to work. Yeah, I feel that. Well, I don't feel that as much as you feel that, but like it's like you're basically like borderline like Batman. You know what I mean? Like someone's got to be there to save the city, so you can't take time off. You're basically a superhero. Is what you're telling me. Basically a superhero. Hey Willie, how you doing? How y'all doing? We just started. Well, we haven't really started, but I think I'm stalling because I'm scared. Is that an appropriate reaction? I don't think you guys properly understand what is happening right now, right? Check this out. Wait for it. You're like, oh, wow, that looks like a lot. Check this out. Check that out. I have to tier list all of this, which if you didn't know and wanted to know exactly how many perks were right here, 131. So today, get an odds perk tier list on the side. No rating is controversial. Wouldn't odds rating be controversial as well? Like every rating is up for controversy and up for debate. I understand that. This is why every time I do a tier list, I explain to everyone, like, guys, this is my take from someone who's played Dead by Daylight for 8 years and who has thousands of hours in the game. But at the same time, someone else could have totally different ideas. Because, like, what people don't understand, right? And I feel like this needs to be said and probably isn't said enough. People rank tier list or think about perks in a certain way based on their own player experiences, right? So my experiences and things that I've seen, things that I've witnessed, things that I've literally seen, like played against in game or played with, is gonna be vastly different than someone else's. One, just because of maybe like overall DBD knowledge, or two, just overall like things that people have seen and haven't seen in Dead by Daylight, which I guess kind of comes to like Dead by Daylight knowledge overall as well. But like Otz is gonna think something is maybe like extremely broken or maybe like extremely bad, but then I might think, okay, well, you could get value from this or something like that. You know what I mean? And like it could just be totally different. So I don't know about pulling up an odds tier list, but I will say by the end of this, if you would like to compare it to odds, and then then we could do that. Never really noticed that DBD has this many killer perks. Yeah, it has so fucking many. All right, not every, because pop and territorial perk existing in the same game is wild. Yeah, that's also true. I'm out for now. I'm on GT RP with friends. I'll be back later if you're still alive. Yeah, guys, this is gonna take roughly like 4 to 5 hours. That's kind of what I'm guesstimating, and that's what I'm shooting for. And then we're literally just gonna tier list, and then that's probably gonna like wrap up stream, because I'm almost certain like my throat is gonna be cooked. It's already a little bit cooked now, so I fear for my life. But nonetheless. All right, guys, you ready? You ready for like intro time? You ready for like intro time? I didn't come up with an intro, but we're gonna see if we could just do one on the fly. Why is my phone ringing and telling me it's a scam? Gosh, I'm probably not watching all that. Fair enough. This is why there's videos, right? And VODs. So I'm gonna end up making this a video, and then you can put on the video whenever you feel like studying or listening to me yap. Or maybe while in bed with a fine young woman. You know what I mean? With that being said, all right, guys, we're going to be tier listing every single Dead by Daylight killer perk ranked from meta through throwing / pointless. We also have constant value, fun / troll, and depends on the situation, aka situational. But when I typed situational, that was like a leftover like L right here, and it was bothering me a lot. Regardless to say, this is going to be a very long tier list. Tier listing anything in Dead by Daylight takes a substantial amount of time. If you don't believe me, go look at an odds tier list. They're like 17 hours long. Ours isn't going to be that. I'm shooting for a sub 4 to 5 hour rating or ranking, if you will. So lock in. Load up your favorite Brazzers video, put it on mute, and just listen to the sound of my fucking silky voice as you go to town. That's kind of weird. Nonetheless, I should have just said, listen to me like a podcast. There you go. All right. New word, tier listing. Bro. What do you think of my intro? W intro? W intro. Nice, bro. Okay. Dot. Wait, Dot. Should I have like tiny bit of like background music or? Because look, Dot's gonna like do this for me and edit this one for me. So should I put music in now, or are you just gonna put music in like in editing? Dots. Is Dot here? Dot's like always just like a silent watcher, bro. Dot's kind of like Batman also, bro. We'll just like watch you from the rooftop heights. W intro. All right, he'll probably put music post editing. We'll do it like that. All right. Let's do this, boys. Let's do this. Starting off strong with Sloppy Booch Hair. 1 out of 130. Oh my god. All right, Sloppy Butcher. I'm gonna try and do my best to give a short but precise explanation, if not ranking, of every single perk. So forgive me if I do a terrible job. I'm trying. Sloppy Butcher. Sloppy Butcher is a perk that gives the mangled / Thank God there's editing. All right, that gives you the mangled. Okay, hemorrhage. There you go. Oh my god, I couldn't remember the word hemorrhage. It gives you the mangled / hemorrhage effect. Now, hemorrhage effect is majority of the time basically pointless. No one cares. No one uses anything with the word hemorrhage in it unless the word mangled is right next to it. The mangled, when you have a survivor mangled, their healing speed is decreased, or like their healing speed, the time it takes to heal them is increased by like 25% or like 20%. That way, a 20-second heal is now what, like 24, 25. As every killer knows, every second counts, especially when it comes to maybe someone getting someone off of the ground and them having like MFT or like them having Soul Guard and things like that. I think when it comes to Sloppy Butcher, you will always and definitely get consistent value out of this perk. I'm not saying this perk is like meta and it should be ran in, let's say, win streaking or when trying to go for like some crazy, like hardcore killer challenge, if you will. But I think no matter what killer you put this perk on, you will undoubtedly get consistent value. And for that, it's like in the upper echelons of perks. Bro, I think it's in like my top 10 favorite perks in DBD as a killer right now. Spies from Shadow. Another perk that I believe gives you constant value. Spies from Shadows isn't necessarily talked about enough, which I don't understand, right? A lot of people think Spies from Shadows should be in throwing / a pointless perk. Now, this would be true if this was like 2017, 2018 to like what? Just like what, like 3 months ago, 4 months ago, they updated Spies from Shadows. Now, Spies from Shadows, every time a survivor walks past a crow, doesn't matter where you are on the map, it gives you a notification of where that survivor is. Now, that is constant value, constant informational value that you can get as a killer for free. Can't be cleansed and is nearly impossible to avoid as a survivor unless you're running Jake's perk. What is it? What is it? Woodland creature? No, not woodland creatures. Wait, fuck. Not Iron Will. Wait, is it woodland creature? I can't remember. Jake's perk. You guys know what I'm talking about. That makes you not avoid birds, or that makes it to where you avoid birds. Apologies. But no one runs that perk. Spies is mid, and that ain't bad. Yeah, look. Spies isn't gonna like change your game. It's not gonna change your life. But I will say, it's going to get you so much information that is going to allow you to win games, which is huge. Any perk that can be triggered consistently and give you, information on a survivor's whereabouts that cannot be cleansed or avoided is insane value, bro. It's so good. I love Spies. Okay, this is going to be Spirit Fury. Now, oh my God, 5 hours is an understatement? No, we're speedrunning, bro. We're speedrunning. All right, moving on to Spirit Fury. Spirit Fury is a perk that is commonly used by people that want to basically eat pallets all day. People that are like hungry fucking hippos. Typically ran with hubris and also enduring. And typically brutal strength. I don't think Spirit Fury is going to give you consistent value or constant value because there are a lot of times that survivors, once you get one use out of this perk, survivors now know to pre-drop in front of your face, and you will be lucky if you get a single proc of your Spirit Fury. Even when you do, if you don't have it enduring, the stun is still long, and a lot of times people still get away from you. So I'm not going to say this perk is throwing / pointless. I'm not even going to say this perk is fun or a troll, because who likes getting stunned in the face constantly by pallets all game and breaking them? I sure as don't. I'm going to say this depends on the situation, depends on the character you're playing, and kind of just depends on the map a lot too. If you're on like a fairly open map, if they stun you, by the time you get out of it, you still have enough time to catch them, downing them, and making this worth it. But yeah, it's very situational. Spirit Fury is below average on its own without enduring. Exactly. Perk is caca with no enduring, throw it in PPL. Facts, bro. Facts. Moving on to Starstruck. Starstruck perk coming out from none other than the Trickster himself. I'm going to say this right now. For me, this is an easy, fun / troll. Now, this could be argued as constant value and or depends on the situation. Yes, I understand this. For me, it's kind of like every time you pick a survivor up, any other survivor in your terror radius is now exposed for 30 seconds. 90% of the time, you are not gonna get value from this perk. Let's be honest, as soon as someone is starstruck, unless they're in the middle of fucking Baghdad, bro. I don't know. I've never been to Baghdad. It just sounded cool to say. Unless they're in the middle of literally nowhere, they're gonna outlast. And especially with Vigil being 40% now, they're gonna outlast this exposed, and you're just basically gonna be in a normal like chasing for one health state. It's rare. But at the same time, if you run this with like mad grit and agitation, it is one of the funnest perks to use. With that being said, that's all I'm gonna say about Starstruck. Strider. Now, Strider is a very old perk. Very old perk. I think Strider, that's an easy throwing / pointless. I don't think, okay, let me just say, Strider is a perk that increases the sound of a survivor's breathing by 25%. Unless you are literally playing Spirit, there is no killer in Dead by Daylight that you need to hear breathing of a survivor, and that warrants using a fucking precious perk slot other than Spirit. And honestly, I've seen a lot of Spirits play without it and literally hear every single piece of a survivor moving. They look at the grass moving. They're so like vigilant, and they just don't need this anymore. This perk is literally pointless. You'll be throwing if you ever use it in one of your games. That's an easy like if we're talking about tiers, that's like D or like F tier, bro. That's like D or F tier. Perk is caca with no endurance. Highest fun troll on the right. With Kaneki, maybe slaps, possibly. Who uses that doggy Strider on Spirit? Yeah, that's what I was saying. Unless it's Spirit, it's just ass. Okay, Superior Anatomy. Now, this perk could be considered, honestly, one of these top 3. It could be considered meta in some builds. It could be considered consistent value or constant value. At the same time, it could be considered fun / troll. For me, I think I would probably put this in fun / troll. Typically, people are running this when they're trying to be like Scratch Mirror, not Scratch Mirror. They're trying to be like tier 4 Michael, or they're trying to do like some like 110% vault speed build for the memes and shit. 90% of the time, like you can get some value from this in a lot of your games. So like I said, it could be considered constant value, but not enough to like, I don't know, not enough to be considered constant value. Because there are a lot of times where you're gonna vault and maybe they're like right on top of a pallet already, or like they vault into shack and they just have the pallet there. So even if you quick vault, like yeah, you force the pallet drop, but and some maps don't even really have that many windows. Fun troll, low constant value. I don't know. I gotta put it in fun / troll. I don't know. All right. Enough said about Superior Anatomy. Let's move on to Jolt, aka Surge for you new geners. Okay, Surge. I'm not even gonna fucking say anything about it, bro. I think Surge is meta. I don't care what anyone says. Surge is the M1 killer's fucking pride and joy, man. This is ran on 99.9% of M1 killers, and for a good reason. This regresses any gen within your terror radius by 8%, and it's so good. Especially if you're a killer with an already high terror radius, like let's just say for Wesker, for instance, who has like a 40-meter terror radius, or even Kaneki, who has a 40-meter terror radius. Every time he gets a knock, any gen that is, or any person or gen that's even within his 40-meter terror radius is getting jolted, and he's gonna start regressing. It's so fucking good. Insanely meta, man. Insanely meta. All right, moving on to Surveillance. This is a perk from the pig in which every time you kick a gen, when another survivor comes up and touches that gen again, it creates a yellow highlighted gen, allowing you to know exactly who or when a survivor is on that gen. I feel like I explained that very poorly. You get the gist. Anyways, I think, and a lot of people don't like this perk, but I honestly think it gives constant value. Anytime you use it, everyone knows as a killer in Dead by Daylight, you're gonna be kicking a gen. Now, every time you kick a gen, or anytime a gen is regressing, right? I like to use this with Oppression, which is a perk that every time you kick one gen, 3 start regressing. I like to use it on that, and it almost like covers a lot more of the map for me, right? I kick one gen and two other gens that are scattered around the map start regressing. And if a survivor gets on them, it highlights their generator yellow for me, and I know exactly where someone is. It's almost like an impromptu like barbecue in a way. Also, it makes the sound of gens 16, like you start to hear the sound of a generator like 16 meters further out or something like that. I don't know. You mainly use it for like informational. I really do think this will give you constant value, especially if you are running it with like jolt or something, right? You're going to jolt and start regressing multiple gens at once. And any person that gets on one of those gens that are regressing, it's going to be highlighted in yellow. So I think it's very good. That's just me, guys. These are all my own opinions. You can argue with me. You can argue, definitely argue, especially in the comment section when I'm not looking. Depends, I think, maybe because who uses that, bro? I like to use it. I love using surveillance. It's such a like an underrated perk. Okay, moving on to Terminus, Wesker's perk, which makes it to where no survivor, or let me rephrase that, any survivor that is injured when the last generator is finished in a trial stays injured until the exit gates are open, and even after that, I believe it stays for like an extra 20 or 30 seconds. I think this perk could give you constant value, but at the same time, it's an endgame perk, so it kind of depends on the situation. There are a lot of times where killers will bring an entire endgame build and not even make it to endgame. So you don't get any use out of it, right? It can't be considered constant value if a lot of times you may not even make it to endgame, or in a worst case scenario, everyone is not injured already. You know what I mean? Or like everyone is healthy. And then you have to actually go and injure them. And then, by that time, they probably already have an exit gate open unless you're running like No Way Out or Remember Me, things like that, yada, yada. I think the perk is very situational, and in like only end game builds does it make sense. Other than that, it really doesn't. It's almost pointless. But I'm going to say it depends on the situation. Territorial Imperative. That's about all we got to say about that one. All right. Thanatophobia. Oh, man. Okay, Thanatophobia. I want to say Thanatophobia will give you constant value. At the same time, is it enough value to deem it to be constant? Or do we say Thanatophobia is really just very situational? It just depends on what killer you're playing and what build you're running. I think I'm going to leave it on depends on situation, because these perks, no matter what build, no matter what character you're running, you're always going to get value from these, and it's always going to be so helpful during the match. Thanatophobia, although it does give survivors slower gen speeds by 4% every injured person, I don't think it's like anything crazy, especially since it's been like nerfed throughout the years, and it's not as good as it once was. I'm going to say this depends on the situation, depends on the killer. People that really use this are just like Legion, Kaneki, people that can get like fast injures and it makes sense for them. But 90% of the killers in Dead by Daylight aren't going to use this perk. It's been years since I've used this perk myself. So I'm going to say depends on the situation. Hey, Jeder, how you doing, brother? The natty is okay, but okay. Yeah. Jeder, we're going to be in this for the long run, man. Happy to see you, brother. Happy to see you. I'm not playing any music right now because we're just going to put music in post, like editing and things like that, because I'm going to make this YouTube video, and it's just going to be like a very fucking long one, probably. All right, moving on to Thrilling Tremors. I think, personally, that this perk, I used to run this perk every single game. Now, I think this is a perk that is going to give you constant value. It really, like, depends. Oh, okay. Thrilling Tremors, yes, it does kind of depend. I see that. I see where your mind is going. At the same time, you got to think about how this perk works in correlation with every single killer. It depends on the situation. Really kind of depends on like the build / killer. But with Thrilling Tremors, every time you pick a survivor up, any gen that is not being worked on is blocked for 16 seconds. Now, it's not anything crazy. It's not anything game-changing, but I do believe it's a perk that you can use and get consistent value throughout the game. Especially if you have something like like pain res also, or maybe not pain res matters, but like maybe like starstruck, right? Let's say if you're running thrilling tremors with starstruck, if you pick up someone and they get starstruck, they're probably gonna get off of the gen and start trying to make some distance, which means that gen is gonna be blocked. And like if you also have like ruin or something, that'll kind of help regress it a little bit, or maybe like Call of Brine, things like that. Um, so I'm not gonna say it's crazy, definitely not meta, but I will say you can get constant value while using this perk. I think it's all right. I think behavior needs to remove cooldown on that perk. I also agree. I also agree. I don't know why it has like a 30-second cooldown. It's kind of pointless, kind of stupid. How you doing, Misha? By the way, welcome in, welcome in. So many of these perks do constant value, but most of the value, most of these perks is like nothing. Yeah, yeah. Like I said before we started, it's gonna be kind of like in the eyes of the beholder in a way. It's 60 seconds. Oh my god, that's even worse. I thought it was 30. I haven't used Sterling in a minute, but I used to use it a lot. I did. Alrighty, guys, moving on to Thwack. Such a funny perk to say. Thwack. That's Thwack. Anyways. Okay. Thwack recently got reworked, and I'm not like 110% sure of what Thwack does. So we're gonna take a small gander, right? Shall we? Thwack. Wait, is it TH? I think it. No, wait. THW. Thwack. Okay, Thwack. Start the trial with 3 tokens. When breaking a pallet or breakable wall, consume 1 token. Survivors within 24 meters scream and are revealed for 5 seconds. I think, oh man. Okay, I think Thwack could be used as like a fun slash troll perk. Is that weird? I don't know if that's weird. You could possibly get constant value from this. Possibly. At the same time, I feel like if you are using this perk, you're kind of using it in like a full aura read kind of build, which is kind of like trolly, kind of fun. Nothing like too oppressive. Are you gonna get constant value from this? Maybe. There's only a 24-meter radius in which you can get an actual like scream out of someone. This is like a poor man's infectious fright. This is one of those situations where it's like, okay, I could run this, but there is something way better, right? This you're gonna get 3 tokens out of, and infectious fright. Every time you get it down, you literally get thwack. So I don't know. It's, let's just say, fun slash troll. Tinkerer, bro. Tinkerer. I'm in between troll slash depends on the situation for Tinkerer. Tinkerer, as you guys know, whenever a generator reaches 70% completion, you receive undetectable for, what is it? 16 seconds? 30 seconds? Something like that. I'm a little iffy on very small attributes of a lot of these perks, but I do know the overall meaning. All right. I think, oh man. Okay. The only time people actually use this perk when trying to do like Silent Billy, trying to like Silent Oni, Blight, like all this other shit. Fun slash troll, constant value, bro. It's guaranteed hits in, I think it's A tier. Oh man, I don't know. I will say this can be used by every single killer in the game, and at some point or another, get at least some value out of it. Unless you're playing like against a Swift, and you know they're all bringing perks that you put on Jenny, and it allows you to see everyone's aura around the Jenny. I can't think of it. Fuck, man. You guys know what perk I'm talking about. Ada's perk. Anyways. Fuck. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Catch a tiger by the toe. If they holler, let them go. I forgot about this song. Fuck. I'm just gonna put it at constant value, man. Like, let's be honest, right? Any killer you play in Dead by Daylight and you utilize this perk, you actually will be able to probably get some free hits, maybe a couple pull off the gens, and or if you're a Ghostface, you can literally stalk someone all the way and then get a knock. So, and if you're a Bubba, you might be able to get a free chainsaw. At the same time, it is kind of trolly. Fuck, man, I don't know. Okay, we're gonna leave that one in the middle. If there was a tier in the middle, it'd be there. All right, we're just gonna keep it a constant value for now. Tinker is decent throughout the match when paired with stuff like Surge. That's also true. Tinker regress, get it again later off same gen. Tinker lets you know what's gonna pop, which is the main thing about it. Yeah, it's like it gives you so much like information. Also, it lets you know what gen is almost completed. We're just gonna say constant value. All right, guys, we're gonna say constant value. Okay, Trail of Torment. Now this one, there's no confusion about. This perk through and through. It's just fun / troll. People use this at, like I was just saying about Tinkerer, to try and do like some silent Billy, silent things like that. But overall, this is just a meme perk. I like really don't like this perk primarily because when you do kick a gen as a killer, it highlights that gen in yellow for all survivors. Now, any survivor with significant amount of playtime or just understanding of killer perks in general will know the second a generator turns yellow that the killer is running trail. And all you have to do to counter trail is run up to the gen and be on it for 10 seconds, stop it from regressing, and then it's gone. Their trail is gone. Now it's on cooldown for like a whole fucking minute. And it's free too, because any killer who uses this is gonna pop trail and then immediately try and go across the map or something and catch someone off guard. So you know it's a free, just like take their perk away. Like it's so easy to remove that perk from people. I recommend Unforeseen, which is the Unknown's perk, which is better. It moves your terror radius to that generator for 30 seconds, and it doesn't matter if people are on the gen or not. It will not go away until the 30 seconds is up. Fucking beautiful. Chef's kiss. I always tell people to use Unforeseen over Trail. Fun / troll perk. Easy. Ultimate Weapon. This is a perk that when you open a locker, whoever is the furthest injured survivor, I believe it's injured, guys, correct me if I'm wrong. Whoever is the furthest injured survivor becomes oblivious and screams, revealing their location. I kind of want, oh man. I know there was a point in time where this was put into like some like meta-esque kind of build, especially on like Nurse and things like that. But I really think this perk just depends on the situation. Like I feel like this is so like character, maybe like situational. Like you could possibly, right? It could be argued that this could be constant value. I get that, bro. I get that. At the same time, how many of you guys are going into Dead by Daylight and putting on Ultimate Weapon? Unless you're trying to do like some weird, maybe like make your choice type fucking build or something. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know. Or like have, I don't know. Very situational. No blindness for 30 seconds. Okay. Forgive me. Okay, this is... Okay, now forgive me a little bit when it comes to unknown perks, because like the pictures always look the exact like same in a way. I believe this is Unbound. Let's go for Snapple facts, if you will, right? And see real quick. Unknown? Unbound. Okay, I was correct. Okay. And they recently just buffed this perk too, which is honestly like another W. Okay, with Unbound, every time you injure a survivor, for the next 30 seconds, whenever you vault a window, when you have just vaulted, you gain 10% haste now. This perk was literally updated and like fucking buffed just like a couple days ago. Honestly, I tried this on the PTB with Kaneki. Oh my god, this perk matched with Bamboozle is a fucking problem, bro. I think, honestly, on any killer, you should be able to get constant value from this. Now, this may be like one of those like controversial picks, and like it could just be very like situational. Don't get me wrong. But at the same time, there's always going to be a point in time in which you injure a survivor, and then they're going to run and try and vault a window. And when they do vault that window, after you vault and get 10% haste, like you're kind of flying, and it's very good. So I don't know. Every time I used it, it allowed me to get a hit, and I always use it around Shaq, which allowed me to catch survivors off guard and like, cut them off or like beat them to the pallet, or either force them to drop the pallet, making Shaq basically useless and them having to run away from it, giving me a chance or giving me an easier chase overall. Everyone knows Shaq is like the mecca of fucking looping places. So I'm gonna say it gives you constant value, especially since it's gonna be 10% now. It's even better. Like that's faster than NOED. It's kind of nuts. PTB, this perk is good, but now it's only 5%. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's 5% now, but you know, when PTB comes out and things like that, it'll be 10%. I don't even know what the fuck the name of that perk is called, man. Undone. When a survivor misses a healing or repair skill check gained through. Okay. Yep. Okay. Yep. Okay. All right. This one, easy, bro. Easy throwing / pointless. This is Undone. This is a perk that you only get use out of unless. Okay, you only get use out of this perk if a survivor or all the survivors miss skill checks. Now, typically, right in Dead by Daylight, I don't know about you guys, but my survivors rarely miss skill checks. If they do, it's maybe 1 or 2, but not enough to like even make it worth using, bro. Dude, honestly, I would rather just be perkless than run this perk because that's basically what you're gonna be doing. It's such a sell. It's such a like a I don't know, man. That's such a bad perk. This needs to be reworked already. Even Doctor can't get. Yo, that's facts. Oh, okay. Nothing but misery. This is coming from Kaneki. New perk. This is the perk that after getting 8 hits, 8 M1s or 8 damage hits on a survivor, at the end of the game, or maybe it's the 4. Is it the 4? This is tough. At the end of the game, all windows, upright pallets are blocked for up to a minute, depending on how many. I believe this one's only like 4 stacks. I could be wrong. Let's check it out real quick. Just so like I'm not wrong about anything. Another one, misery. Okay, it was the 8 times. Oh no, this is the one that leaves them hindered. Okay, none are free as this one. Okay, my apologies. No, all right. Oh my god. Okay, nothing but misery is the one where when you hit 8 or when you damage a survivor 8 times, after that, every time you hit a survivor, they are hindered for 15%. This one, I think. I want to say constant value. At the same time, it is a hex, and hex totems are notoriously doo-doo cheeks when it comes to Dead by Daylight. At least in my experience. In my experience, I play using a hex build. A survivor spawns on my hex, bro. Like it's found within the first 30 seconds of the game, and I no longer have 4 perks. I have 3. So I kind of want to put this with fun / troll. Because people are going to be using this when they're running like maybe like force hesitation, infectious fright, and they're just kind of going for like a slugging build. That's kind of like the best time I can see this being used, if not very like situational. I don't think you're going to get constant value out of this because it is a hex perk. Hex perks are like so like bro, like they're the definition of just like going to Vegas and betting it all on black or something. You know what I mean? Like hex is like such a gamble. So I'm going to say fun / troll. It needs to be basic attacks. Hex needs 8 hits. Yeah, jitter. It needs 8 hits, or it needs 8 M1s to actually proc. And then after the 8 hits, and then it'll like light up a totem or whatever. It's kind of tough. Bro, there's going to be so many. All right, Unforeseen. This is a perk we were talking about earlier when we were talking about Trail of Torment. This is just the better version of Trail of Torment. At the same time, with Unforeseen, I kind of feel like, oh man, I also feel like it's a troll perk. At the same time, I also feel like you can get constant value from it. I like to use it in obsession builds. Maybe you can run friends to the. I like to run this with friends to the end in furtive chase. That way I get haste, I get undetectable, and at the same time, I have a survivor exposed. Now, a lot of times I may not be able to hit the survivor that is exposed and get that instant down, but I am able to sneak up on them and get a free first hit, making my chase time incredibly slower. So I kind of want to say this is constant value. At the same time, and like it's not like easy for a killer, it's not easy for a survivor to recognize. Not a lot of people recognize a heartbeat coming off of a generator and thinking that it's the generator. They think, oh, it's a killer nearby. Let me get away from this generator. And they typically run away from it. So it almost like protects your generator in a way at the same time. So I'm going to say that's constant value. Unrelenting. Unless you have just booted up Dead by Daylight, Unrelenting is one of the most like useless perks in the game, right? Now, it makes your misses 25%, like it makes you recover from misses 25% faster, I believe, or is it like 30%? I don't know. I could be wrong, but I don't know if using this, especially in today's meta, would be even like usable, bro. You use this and you're cooked. You're going in with 3 perks immediately. Now, this isn't a hex, right? They can't cleanse this, but like, bro, if you're missing that many times that you need Unrelenting, bro, oh my God, go to like aim labs or something. I don't know, bro. Like, you need Jesus. Like, dude, there's auto aim in this game that literally gives you free hits. I don't know what to explain. That might just like, we're gonna have to like chalk that one up to just skill issue at that point, my guy. Like, I don't know. I don't even think a noob would pick that. This perk doesn't work if you hit some obstacles. Bro, I didn't even know that. That's so stupid. Unrelenting is bad. Exactly. Okay, we're all in agreement. All in agreement. Let's go, boys. Wow, we got the biggest wieners in the class. All right. Unnerving Presence. This is Trapper's perk. Now, Unnerving Presence. If I remember, it gives survivors harder skill checks. Oh my God. Wait, am I selling? Wow, ex-Trapper main doesn't know his own perks. That's scary, bro. That's scary. Okay, no, I was right. Yeah. It makes harder skill checks, and gives them a higher chance of. It's like, oh man, this perk. It's such like in a way, it's almost like a nerf as a killer because you're giving the survivor more skill checks. As everyone knows, more skill checks equals more progress. Like if you give Unnerving Presence to someone who all the time uses hyper focus, which is like a meta perk nowadays for survivors, that shit's cake, bro. Like they're hitting that shit every single time. And you are only making your gens get completed even faster. I'm trying to think. This wouldn't even be fun troll. This wouldn't even be constant value. Guys, I think this is throwing. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I want to say it depends on the situation that you can get some value out of Unnerving Presence. At the same time, like survivors aren't as bad as they used to be. Survivors nowadays are fucking cracked out of their mind, bro. It's like the equivalent of trying to go back to play Call of Duty when you're in your 30s, bro. Like these kids are just insane now, bro. Like they're gonna like 360 YYU on a fucking like PSP or something. I don't know. Switch is a new. My bad. Wow, Unk mode. That's crazy. All right. Anyways, it's just throwing. It's throwing. It's pointless. There's no need for this perk in the game. It needs to be reworked. Pre-nerf, unrelenting, 30% recover from successful attacks. Is that true? This perk is good only for Doctor. Depends. Skill check builds need this, but it's so situational. That perk is low MMR gaming. It's so good on Doctor. Did you try Doctor Lullaby plus Unnerving? I have not tried that. Yeah, I guess that would be like situational, but at the same time, like in the masses, right? Overall masses, like who actually is gonna try all that, or who knows to try that? It's just kind of like one of the it's pointless, man. It's pointless. Like you could use it, but let's be honest, even in that build while using that, you could probably use something else and would probably give you much more bang for buck, if you will, for your game. Zanchin Tactics. If this was literally 3 months ago, I would have said Zanchin Tactics was throwing / pointless. But now, Zanchin kind of gives you, oh man, is this situation? Guys, I'm in between constant value and depends on the situation for Zanchin. Because not every killer is going to run this, but I think if you do run this, you can get value. I love this perk on every killer. Zanchin Tactics is A tier. Zanchin does give constant value. Okay. Here's what we're gonna do. One read, right? One read real quick, right? Go Zanchin, right? Reveal the aura of pallets and vaults within 32 meters and reveals the survivor who dropped a pallet for 5 seconds. Situational? See, like, I think Zanchin tactics, like on a Kaneki, is insane, right? Because not only do you know where they can run to, you can pre-place like your Kagune leap and leap to their closest pallet, to their closest window, basically zoning them. And if they do have windows, then even if they know where it is, you also do too. So it's just like it's almost like a counter to windows. For Dredge, it's good. Okay, I'm not gonna say constant value. I'm gonna say situational, primarily because like I can't put Zanshin up here with these perks, right? I just can't, man. I actually just can't. Like, can we say Sloppy is on the same level of usefulness as Zanchin? Same thing with spies, surveillance, and like thrilling and tinkerer and things like this. Can we say that? I don't know. I think I'm gonna stick on depends on the situation, and not necessarily depends on the situation, but depends on the killer. Yes, every killer could get some value which way or another with this perk, but not every killer is gonna be able to utilize that value and actually do something with it, right? Like Kaneki, like I said, he can cut off survivors. If you're Oni, you can like speed run in front of a survivor, cutting off a thing. If you're like Nurse, you know where a vault's gonna be. Spirit, you know where a vault's gonna be. Chucky, you know where like a vault's gonna be. For you to like scamper on things like that. It's like very like dependent on the killer. I feel like, and then on that dependent killer, you can get constant value. So that one's a toughie. It's a toughie. The situation, Judge good. We all know because we all don't use it all that much. Let's be honest. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. I haven't used this perk since I was doing my Oni Adept challenge. That's the last time I used this. Weave Attunement. Wow, bro. This perk has risen through the ranks recently, man. I am gonna easily say you can get constant. Oh man, this is kind of a fucking toughie too, man. I've been seeing a lot of people use Weave Attunement. Now, Weave Attunement, for those of you that don't know, any item that is depleted drops from a survivor, and after it drops onto the ground, it gives you an aura read of any survivor in that. Sorry. Hiccup. In that, any survivor in like an 8-meter radius or something like that, and it shows their aura. Now, if you pair this with Franklin's, you get consistent value throughout the game. And if someone goes and opens up a fucking chest or something like that, it's just even better. The greatest part about this perk is that typically survivors will bring in toolboxes and they'll use the entire toolbox at the beginning of the game. And then you now know where they're doing their first gen and you can go interrupt it, basically just ruining their entire beginning progress of the game and wasting their time. At the same time, at later points in the game, people are going to be using medkits. Medkits drop. You can see the aura of 2 survivors healing. They might find another toolbox in a chest, and then you might just like, and you'll just forever have value on top of a gen. Or like, oh my god, I use this with Hag. Oh my god, bro, this shit on Hag is so dirty. You can put a trap on the item, and every time they try and go for the item, it triggers your trap, and you can just get a free hit. And then if you're running Franklin's, it drops back on the ground. It's so annoying and dirty. And if you, like I say, if you have it dropped in a building, you have aura read on the entire building, basically. It's so dirty. Weave isn't constant value, though, if it isn't with Franklin's. Well, if the item is, once the item is depleted, I believe it drops on the ground. I mean, they could just pick it up. That is true. This perk gets nerfed. Now survivors can see this item. Is that true? It's usually the survivor doesn't have any item. This perk is perfect pick on depends on the situation, bro. What are you on about? Controversial. Fine. Look. I'll give you guys this one because I do also think that it is in a way situational. Like you can get constant value if you do bring Franklins. At the same time, I see what you're talking about. If they don't bring an item, it's almost pointless. But like, let's be honest. In today's Dead by Daylight, everyone and their mother is bringing an item. The times that I go into matches with survivors, even one of them not having an item is like I will play 1,000 matches of Dead by Daylight, and let's say maybe like an eighth or a ninth of that survivors like one survivor won't bring an item or just will forget. And at the same time, when that survivor doesn't bring an item, they're usually trying to like do like a chest challenge or like some bullshit, and they just go into the basement and like get an item for themselves because they're trying to like do ace in the hole, shit like that. Situational, it depends on the match that is, bro. All right. We're gonna leave it on depends on the situation. Okay, whispers. I feel like this is I don't know, man. For me, I feel like whispers is just very situational. You know what I mean? It's like so whispers activates if there is a survivor within, I believe, a 32 reader, what the fuck, 32 meter radius of you. It will proc and basically let you know that there is a survivor there. But like, is it worth using a perk slot for? I don't know. Because they could be anywhere in like that 32 meter radius. This is kind of a toughie, boys. Throwing, Rex gets it. If you don't have a brain, it might work. Croper is just better. Put that in pointless. Okay, you got me. Guys, I was kind of teetering, but I was trying to give it the benefit of the doubt because it's an OG fucking perk. Like, I remember using this playing Trapper in 2017, man. Okay. Nurses calling. This is tough. I want to put this in constant value. At the same time, Survivor's heal speed nowadays, 2025 edition of Dead by Daylight, is so fast that unless you're on an indoor map, you're not going to be able to see the survivors healing. By the way, if you didn't know, Nurses Calling allows you to see survivors that are healing within a 28 meter radius of you. Ah, man. Like, I want to say it's constant value because it is always there and you can see them. But if you're on a big map, you will never get value from it. Do we just say... I think I'm going to put it on depend on the situation. Because if you are running like an anti-heal build, it's really good. But if you're just running it just to like have it on, like you might get a couple of like aura reads here and there, but not enough to like consider yourself getting like consistent value all the time. You know what I mean? Like it's going to be like sometimes you may, sometimes you won't. Like you're going to miss a lot of times that people heal. Nurses is pretty good. If you can't progress information in your brain, whispers might help you. Another game loss for the OGs. I know. Nurses depends. Nurses ain't that bad. It's good with sloppy. It's good with slug. That is true. But at the same time, if I'm slugging, like I'll probably just run Deerstalker or something like that. Agitation. I think we can all agree agitation is an easy constant value. No matter what killer you are playing in Dead by Daylight, it is so valuable to pick up a survivor and make it to your hooks quicker. It allows you to, like, if someone is near you, it allows you to get to the hook faster and start chase with them. If you have a gen that's teetering on the edge of completion, you can get to the hook faster, hook a person, and then come back with like pop. If you need a pain rest to proc, the faster you get to that hook, it allows you to even reach hooks that are further. So if you have a Scourge pain res that's like almost halfway across the map, if you have agitation, you can make that easily. And it also has good uses when using like Starstruck and things like that, because it makes your terror radius even bigger. I think agitation is an easy constant value. Anyone who doesn't say you can get constant value from agitation, it like should seek therapy and or talk to someone at home. I don't know, man. Like you need to get it together. Constant value. I like this perk. Ag constant value. Choosing the hook you want is high value. That's what I'm saying. Unless you're slugging, it's a perk for constant. That is true. That is true. If you're slugging, then it's kind of a pointless perk. But at the same time, if you're slugging, then you're probably not going to bring this perk in. Hooking between 3 gens is the best feeling. That's true. That's true. Being able to hook next to your 3 gen is a massive, massive gain. As using a perk to pair with another perk with and get really good build going. That is true. That is true. That is true. And it's a beginner perk, bro. That's what's insane. This perk, the second you buy DBD, you have access to it, bro. That's insane. The fucking the newcomers. Okay, what is this? Alien Instinct? Right? Is that what that is? Alien Instinct? Oh my god, wait, earlier I read Ultimate Weapon as Alien Instinct. That's interesting. That's interesting. Wow, I misread that one. Either way, Alias, bro. Oh my god, my mind is rendering right now. I think I'm having a stroke. My bad. This perk activates when you hook a survivor. You see the aura of the farthest injured survivor for 8 seconds, and that survivor is oblivious. I feel like this is easy situational. Unless you're running like a friends till the end kind of build, if you're running furtive chaves, kind of like an obsession like change, and like nemesis or something like that, like I don't really see anyone like using this in like a day-to-day build and then getting constant value, because there's gonna be a lot of times where you might have someone injured, but unless they're like basically across the map from you, kind of like barbecue in a way, you're not going to be able to see them. You're going to get 0 use out of this perk. And just because they're oblivious doesn't mean like their teammates don't have like aura read on you. Like you could have, they could be oblivious and have like fucking eyes of, or not eyes of Belmont, but they could have still sight. They could have Ada's gen perk. By the way, someone tell me the name of that. I can't fucking remember. It's pissing me off. I don't know why I want to say Blast Mine. I know it's not Blast Mine. Oh my god, mine's sold. Anyways, if they have that, they can see or like there's so wiretap. There you go. Wow, big brain Rex. There's so many aura reading perks for survivors. Like they could have a fucking key, bro, and like you're just cooked. I really don't think it's borderline throwing / pointless, but I know I've seen like a lot of like nurse players use it on like Midwich and things like that, and they're able to get across the map and like pretty much sneak up on them. And it's like easy, bro. It's easy. But I don't think it's crazy. Bamboozle. I mean, do we even have to speak on Bamboozle, guys? I don't even think we actually have to. Bamboozle is so easily meta, bro. The ability to block a window for 15 seconds. Come on. Come on. And vault faster? Nah, that's free. That like at its absolute minimum, you can argue that you get constant value. But I honestly think Bamboozle is meta. Play any killer in Dead by Daylight. This is useful. Even as Kaneki, when you Kagune leap into a window, onto a survivor, it still Bambies the window. So even if you don't get the vault speed, it's still blocked. They can't use it. If you're playing Legion, I believe it procs even on Legion. Also, like no one can like there's no window teching when you have this perk. I don't know. I think it's meta. I'll let it slide. I think it could be very high A tier for sure. I don't like it by itself, but it's pretty strong. It goes on Legion as well. Even for Nurse, he has an add-on for blocking windows. Oh, he does? Well, I mean, you could run the add-on, yeah, and you don't have to run Bamboozle. Same thing with Kaneki, right? Kaneki has an add-on, and he doesn't have to use this for Windows. At the same time, if you need add-ons for something else, you can just bring Bamboozle, and like it's still a perk that you're always gonna get constant value on. And a lot of times it like catches survivors off guard, and it forces them to kind of like W key away or maybe like drop a pallet. Window tech ain't bad, but risk, yeah. I don't know, guys. For me, Bamboozle is meta. For me, like I said, everything in this tier list today can be argued. I understand that. At the same time, It's for the most part, it's my opinion. At the end of everything, we're gonna see if I'm valid, bro. We're gonna see if I'm valid. You guys are gonna have to like let me know. Which is, dude, we have so much. Oh man, but we've gotten through like, I don't know, somewhat. Awakened awareness. This perk allows you to see the aura of any survivors within 20 meters of you while carrying a survivor. If you pair this with Starstruck, it's actually pretty not that bad. But I'm not gonna say it's like throwing / pointless, and I'm not even really gonna say it like depends on the situation, because like you can kind of use this in any game in a way. But I think if you're using it, you're kind of using it for like fun, and you're kind of using it to like troll a little bit. Um, I'm not gonna say it's constant value. You're not gonna get constant value from this in every game. You'll be lucky if you get this to proc one time in a game, and there's someone actually there who's trying to like take a person off of the hook immediately, or maybe sabo a hook, things like that. But I think it's just fun / troll. Sure, man. I don't think the comments will have their torches up for that. Easy, bro. That one is for sure fun, but it's not good. Situational. Yeah, like Awaken Awareness. I'm not gonna say it's good. I'm gonna say it's like it's okay, bro. Like Awaken Awareness is okay. I'm gonna say fun / troll, but I can see depends on the situation. Like it could just be like depends on like what build you're running. But I think if you're running this, you're kind of just running it to like troll a little bit. You know, maybe like a full Starstruck build. With like Agi, Starstruck, this and fucking like Mad Grit or something. You know what I mean? Like just like some fun bullshit. All Shaking Thunder or All Striking Thunder. My bad. Howmaster's perk. Whenever you fall from like any distance, you basically have coup de grace, which essentially increases your lunge distance by a great amount. I think this perk is also just like fun / troll. This is another one that could be like situational. It's just because there are some maps where there isn't really a lot of places to fall from. And at the same time, there may not be an instance in which you could even like utilize a perk. Like, yeah, you can just always use it, increase your lunge, but like, I don't know. There are some maps where there just isn't that many drops. And I feel like if you're using this, you're probably stacking it with like Coop or like, you know, something like that. And like basically making your lunge distance like twice as much. Be faster, bro. You were slow. Not worse than Coop. At some map, just Coop, but way worse. At Orman, it's fucking damn hot. It's only 15 seconds. I'm gonna say fun / troll. All right. Barbecue and chili. Now, a lot of people are gonna hate me for this, but I think it's gonna be depends on the situation. Barbecue and chili is no longer what it used to be, guys. Barbecue and chili only procs when survivors are 40 meters away from you. They basically have to be across the map for you to see them. If any survivors are anywhere around you, you don't get value from this perk. If it is a small map, let's say AKA Midwich, right? If you hook someone in the middle of the map, you get no value. You just don't. It's crazy. This is controversial. I understand. At the same time, I don't care, bro. Back in the day, when I first started using barbecue and chili, it was like 16 meters, bro. Now it's 40. Like, oh my God. This thing got giga nerfed. It's okay, but I don't think I'm using it. Like, I would use floods a million times over than use barbecue. I don't know, man. I don't know. Barbecue is throwing. Barbecue is value. I don't like it. Used to be meta, but now comments torch have been raised. Yikes, throwing. I remember when barbecue gave you points. Oh my God, I do that too. Barbecue equals throwing. I feel like throwing is a little bit of an overstatement. I'm gonna say depends on the situation. Nah, fuck that, man. Maybe throwing. Maybe throwing. What is this? Beast of Prey. Now it gives you undetectable when you reach Bloodlust 1. If you use this perk, you're literally throwing. But I have seen it used in a little bit of fun builds. At the same time, let's be honest, this shit's throwing, bro. Blood Echo. Okay, we're gonna see if we can speed run through a few of these, right? Let me see if I can just get through this fucking like level right here. Oh my God, there's still so many, and my throat hurts. Someone call my mother. I think I need a diaper. What? Anyways, Blood Echo. For 45 seconds after you hook someone, any injured survivor is now exhausted and suffering from hemorrhage. I believe it is. I believe that was what it is. It maybe just be the first section of what I said. Either way, I'm gonna say throwing slash pointless. I know what you're thinking. I know what you're thinking. Guys. This perk is like only useful on like what, like Legion and Kaneki, right? And even at that, bro, Vigil's at 40% nowadays. Like it basically makes like any like exhaustion thing just like poof gone. Um and like how many people actually use exhaustion perks nowadays? Like the days of like people using exhaustion perks are kind of like dwindling. I never use exhaustion perks. I don't remember the last time I used an exhaustion perk. They're kind of just doo-doo cheeks now, man. Majority of the killers like catch up immediately now. It's just like it's almost pointless to me. So easily for me, Blood Echo, pointless. Kind of pointless. You're kind of selling. Don't use it in 2025. Bitter Murmur. Now, I know what you're thinking. Depends on the situation, right? But for me, Bitter Murmur is easy, constant value. You are never going to play in Dead by Daylight. You're never going to play a game in Dead by Daylight in which survivors don't complete at least one generator. Now, with Bitter Murmur, every time a survivor completes a generator, you now see all survivors on the map for like 5 seconds or 6 seconds, something like that. So for me, you can get constant value, bro. You're going to play this like game. And if you have this perk, you're always going to get use out of it. There's never going to be a time where like you don't get use out of it. Blacko sucks ass. Pointless Bitter Murmur situation. Not all survivors. The one who completed gens. Wait, is it the only ones that completed gens? Nah. I thought it was all. Survivors within 16 meters of the completed gen. Oh, wow. Bro, did they change this? It used to be like all survivors on the map. For 10 seconds. I mean, it could be argued also, right, that if they complete a gen, you at least see where they go from the gen, right? So, like, if you're a Billy or, like, if you're, like, a Blight, a Nurse, a Huntress, someone who, like, actually needs these aura reads, on your way over there, you can see them leaving the gen and maybe hiding. Some people like to complete a gen and then hide into a locker. Situational. Yeah, I guess if I had to explain a certain situation, then I guess it's kind of situational, right? Fuck it. We ball. Murmur is Huntress Sniper, bro, but put somewhere lower because it ain't bad. It looks way higher than it should be. All right, fair enough. We'll keep it on depends on situation. Batteries included. I think you can get constant value with this perk. I don't know. I like mid. Yeah, it's kind of mid. I'm not gonna lie. I really don't like batteries included. But I will say, every time I do use it, there's always a time in the match that kind of surprises me because I just so happen to be maybe like, if it's a 2-story map, I'm under the gen that's completed, and then I get haste, and then I down the person. So, like, a lot of times, you get, like, unknowingly, like, unknowable amounts of value. And you can always get value from this by just walking past a gen. A lot of times it's good if you hook someone and someone's on their way to go unhook someone else, you can actually use the haste to catch up to them. Too many matches, you don't leave gens. You never go to a completed gen. So small value. Yeah, but a lot of times gens are always placed near exit gates. And like it's really nice to have like that speed near exit gates. That perk never surprises for me. It always felt like empty slot, but it's better than it feels like. I'm gonna leave that constant value. I said what I said. Okay, Bloodhound. Unless you are like new to the game, Bloodhound is absolute doggo cheeks. I believe this is the one that makes blood stains brighter. Yeah, I don't know about anyone else, but I really don't need that as a killer in 2025. Blood Warden. So situational, man. So situational. I'm not gonna say it's throwing / pointless because not a lot of people really expect this nowadays. Like all OG players fear this perk because this perk at one time or another was so fucking like good and oppressive. But nowadays, people just have like that PTSD from it. You know, it's like that one meme of the army guy and his face is just like still is like a fucking picture. But I think you can get use out of this depending on the situation. And plus, nowadays you can open gates yourself. So if you get a hook next to a door, or like if you get someone down next to a door, you can open the door forcibly, and then just hook them and easily block the gate yourself for an entire minute. And now it's an entire minute where they can't get out and they can't really save this person. So if they're dead hook, then they're just dead. Especially if you're like a Bubba or something like that. So I don't know. Bloodhound is for a disabled person. DBD thinks everyone. Brighter and less of them. Meme perk for Blood Warden? I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I could see that. I could see it being like a meme perk, but at the same time, like I don't know if people are like bringing that perk to kind of like have fun and like troll with it. I think they're kind of using it to like surprise people. It's very, it's for like end game builds in which like you're trying to like camp people. I don't know if camping considered troll though. Is camping considered trolling? What do you guys think? Blood Warden fun / troll? I'm leaving on depends on situation. Brutal strength. Constant value, bro. Constant value. There isn't a killer in Dead by Daylight that you won't get value while using this perk. Allows you to destroy pallets 20% faster. I believe, or is it 25? I could be wrong. Could be wrong. Like I said, a lot of these percentages are always fucking fluctuating and changing, and it's a little hard to keep track of 8 years later. Brutal strength, easy, constant value. I don't want to hear it from you guys. I don't want to hear it. Call of Brine. Call of Brine has been giga nerfed, and no one uses this perk anymore. It's really bad now. I think I'm going to put it in throwing / pointless. Yeah, it gives you gen regression at, what is it, 125% speed now, but it used to be like 300 or something like that. It's kind of boo-boo. I don't know, man. Like, I want to say depends on the situation, right? Like, if you're running like a full regression build, then it might be all right, but Call of Brine in 2025? No one's using that shit, man. Pointless. Corrupt Intervention. I'm going to say meta. It could be argued that it could be constant value. I know what you guys are thinking. Depends on the situation. But Corrupt Intervention allows you to, oh man. It allows you to like get damage. Like, dude, it's perfect for like legions. It's perfect for like huntresses. It's perfect for like Kanekis. It's perfect for like Onis. Like there's so many killers that can utilize this, man. And like if you just don't damage anyone and injure everyone, everyone's injured, and you're blocking like a substantial amount of the gens in the game. And it makes it to where like they have a hard time even getting initial pressure in the beginning of the game. So it's going to take them longer to even find a gen, giving you more time to find them. And also, you can get everyone injured before it runs out. It's kind of insane. Everybody, go have fun with the rest of your 10-hour stream, bro. Brutal constant value if you don't play Blood Moon event. That is facts. I hate Corrupt. Suck ass. I can't think Corrupt is easy meta. Corrupt is throwing? No. I don't believe it, man. I don't believe it. I can't believe it. Because it gets value even if you get a quick down, because then they go to gens that are close to you and stuff. That is true. It forces them to like push towards you as a killer and allowing you to see them like easier and get that initial value. You know. I'm gonna say it's meta. That might be a controversial take, man, but I'm gonna say it's meta. Coldrophobia. I think Coldrophobia, oh man, is Coldrophobia considered fun / troll? It might be like okay, I'm gonna say it depends on situation, man. Coldrophobia, it makes survivors heal 50% slower when inside of your terror radius. The only time that this is ever useful is in anti-heal builds. That's literally it. I can't think of another fucking situation other than that. Like no one's ever just using this perk solo dolo. You know what I mean? Like there's no one that's just slapping this on. It's just like a filler perk. It's kind of just like if they're using it, expect a full anti-heal build like right behind them. That's the only thing I think of. Troll, Coldrophobia slugging perk. It's meant for unnerving terror radius build. I would say it depends on the situation. Cruel limits. Cruel limits. Now, okay. I think this kind of, oh man. Okay. Cruel limits. Whenever a generator is completed, every pallet window is blocked for, I believe, 16, 30 seconds, some shit like that. I don't know if Misha's still here or like you guys can correct me, but this blocks every single window and pallet for a period of time. Now, I think it kind of like depends on the situation. I'm not gonna say like you're gonna get constant value out of this because they may complete a generator, which is like across the map and you just won't be there. But in certain situations where you're in the building and then it gets blocked, or like maybe you run Tinkerer and you just so happen to get there whenever it gets blocked, it leads to free downs. Other than that, I can't really think of like any other the reason to be running this perk other than like it's just situational and maybe you're running like a instant down killer like Bubba or Hillbilly and you just so happen to be there. Slug and build all sorts. I don't know this perk. This is a Demo's perk. It's cruel limits, otherwise known as claustrophobia, I believe, right? Cruel limits. Yep. Okay, so it's blocked for 30 seconds. All right. It used to be called claustrophobia. I'm so sure. I could be wrong, but I feel like I'm sure. Coupe de Gras, easy, bro. Fun / troll perk. It increases your lunge fucking by like 80% or something like that. It's so fun to use. Darkness revealed. I think constant value. Darkness revealed. I feel like every time I use Darkness revealed, by the way, Darkness revealed gives you aura on any survivor near a locker or within like a certain amount of radius of a locker. I feel like every time I've used it and I searched a locker, I've always seen at least one survivor. At the same time, I feel like I wish I could get more value out of it. Because like I said, a lot of times it's only like maybe like one survivor. Never like more than one. It's very rare that like I get none because like sometimes they may just be in a locker and I don't know if it procs if they're in the locker and then they may just be away because it's like it has an 8-meter radius. Situational. Some maps don't have many lockers. That is true. Oh, fuck it. I'll say situational only because it's mainly and like fundamentally only used by like huntresses. So it's almost like killer situational, if you will. Dark arrogance. Pointless, bro. Pointless. Dark arrogance increases your vault speed by 25%. W, bro. But also increases the time you are blind and stunned by a pallet by like 25%. It's like a double-edged sword. And to be honest, I don't even think it's that useful, right? You can just subtract the need to like, or like the risk of being stunned for even longer by just running Bamboozle or something, or like running just Superior Anatomy. It's a lot less scary. You know what I mean? Like you're running this and putting yourself at risk to be blind for like, I don't know, 5-6 seconds and like survivors getting away. Or if you get pallet stunned, them making a crazy amount of distance. DMS. Meta. DMS is so fucking meta right now. Oh my God, bro. All the people that are like super sweaty in this game are running DMS. It's such a strong perk. Blocking a gen for 50 seconds is so nuts, man. It is so nuts. Deathbound. Kind of pointless. I'm not gonna lie. Like, for protection to hit, bullshit. It's either get killer instinct, kind of poo-poo. Yeah. I don't really think we got to like even talk about that. Dark Devotion. I want to say this is a fun / trolly perk You're only gonna be using this when you're trying to like get your terrorists on another survivor and hope that they run away. That way you can go up to someone else and scare them, jump scare them, if you will. But like I'm not gonna say it's great, but it's basically like trying to use trail and like unforeseen things like that, just kind of worse in my opinion. Because you kind of need to find a survivor and then catch up to them and then get that hit and hope that they don't stay trailing behind you or near other survivors. Yeah, troll. It's kind of a troll. Deadlock. I think Deadlock is meta. Deadlock, along with DMS, is constantly used in Dead by Daylight right now. Deadlock blocks the highest completed gen, or like the most progressed gen for that matter, after a generator is completed. And it blocks the gen for like what, 30 seconds? It's kind of fucking nuts. 20 or like 15 seconds, something like that. No, Grim is like 15 seconds or 10 seconds. Deadlock is 30 seconds. Yeah. Deadlock is insanely good, man. You will always get value from that, and I think it's meta, honestly. Dissolution. I think dissolution kind of depends on the situation. I'm not even gonna lie. I run dissolution a lot, and it's kind of hard to get value from sometimes. But I know like other people can get value from it a lot of times. I don't know. Maybe like I'm just bad at kind of like utilizing it. It's a perk that depends on the survivor's actions. So if a survivor, and like it tells the survivor that they have dissolution. So if a survivor knows that they have dissolution, they're just not gonna vault the pallet. If they don't vault the pallet, you get zero use out of the perk and you're there still kicking the perk yourself. So I think it's super situational. Hey Devin, how you doing, brother? What do you mean? What are we doing at 3 a.m.? We're killing our throat. And not in a good way. It works in terror radius? Yeah, yeah, that is also true. That is also true. You have to be in the terror radius as well. Bro, Devinesh always wakes up in the middle of the night just to watch me streaming. Gawked vibes? Good vibes. Oh, good vibes. All right. All right. Dear Stalker. I think Dear Stalker is. Ah, man. Do we say this is situational? Because the only times that you use Deer Stalker is when you're slugging and going for a slug build. And slugging people could be deemed as fun slash trolly. It could also be throwing slash pointless because let's be honest, slug builds are becoming a lot more pointless nowadays, right? Because now if you slug people, everyone just DCs. So that's kind of fun to see, as a sick sadistic bastard. But in reality, it's kind of throwing in a way. I don't know. I think I'll put it in fun slash troll. Because if you're going for a full slug build, you're kind of trolling, man. Like you're just trying to have fun, not really play the game, just literally fucking go and do an M1 simulator and then leave people on the ground and just, I don't know, make a get ready with me TikTok. I don't know, man. Very situational. Depends. L Deerstalker. I think it's fun slash troll, guys. Because like if you're playing like that, you're kind of just playing to like fuck around. Let's be honest. Or like you're just playing to be evil. Discordance. I think discordance depends on the situation. I think that might be an easier depends on the situation. Discordance, if there are two survivors doing a generator at the same time, it highlights the gen yellow for you and allows you to see that there are two people on the gen. I don't think you're gonna get constant value from this because there's not gonna be a lot of times that survivors are doubling on a gen. I mean, there probably is, but like not enough to deem it as constant value. Like there's gonna be a lot of times that you're in games where gens are completed by one person. And I feel like people don't really use this perk that much anymore. Like it really fell from the ranks. So I'm gonna say it kind of depends on the situation. Like I'm not gonna say it's throwing because you can get use out of this perk, and I'm not gonna say it's like fun slash troll because it's like there's nothing like gimmicky really about it. It's an informational perk in which if two survivors are on the same gen, then they let you know. I'm just gonna depend the situation. How's that fun? Distressing. I think distressing is fun slash troll. Distressing increases your terror radius by like a lot. It's like what, like 20 something? Um, unless you're running like a starstruck kind of build, an exposed build, like something that they have to be in your terror radius in, then it's not really great. But I mean, that's the only time that it is going to be great. I think it's like a trolley perk, man. Like I used to love when you would run this and get extra BP, but like now it's just really troll. Only for doctor, 30%. Okay, shit. Dragon's Grip. Dragon's Grip is a perk that when you kick a generator for the next 60 seconds, if a survivor touches it, they are exposed. I want to say this is also like troll, man. Like, I'm not even gonna say like this depends on the situation. A lot of times, like if you're running this, you're planning to like camp a generator. A lot of times, this is like Race will use this, Billy's will use this, Blights, people that have like either like high speed or undetectable capabilities. That's the only time. And then they kick a gen and then they camp it. And then they kind of just wait for a survivor to touch it, and then they pop up and then down them. So it's like, I don't know. It's like 48 meters. Meme perk. Dragon's Grip is troll. Okay. Auto brightness flashed me. Wait, what? There's auto brightness? Dominance. Okay, dominance is a perk that when a survivor touches a totem for the first time in the match, the totem is blocked for 5 seconds. Is it 5 seconds, guys? I could be wrong. This perk, I think it's pointless. I don't know. Okay, in some situations, especially if you're using like a hex build, it's kind of good because even if they find the totem, when they tap on the totem, it blocks. At the same time, that only happens once per match. So you have 5 totems in a match. You only get 5 uses out of this. And it's like, is it really worth a perk slot? Like, I think I'd rather run like Undying or something. Like, I don't know, man. 16 seconds? Is it really 16 seconds? Holy shit. I only see killers take this as a challenge or a meme. Facts. Situational totem builds are a thing, but aren't too good. Guys, I'm gonna be honest. I've never used this perk. Not one time. Nor have I ever seen or played against a person using this perk. So I don't know. I don't know. Okay. Have you guys used this perk? Be honest. Be honest. Have any of you guys here used Dominance, bro? I don't know. Only Adept for Dracula? Exactly. Exactly. No one is using this in a build. It's kind of pointless, let's be honest. Like you guys gotta think about it. Are you wasting a precious perk slot for one of your totems to be blocked for a few seconds one time a match? No one is, bro. No one is. It's just like I would just run Undying or Face the Darkness, make people scream, and then get off with I'd run Thrill the Hunt rather than like this. I just wouldn't. I'm gonna put it as throwing / pointless. Dying Light. It makes the obsession, or no, what is it? If the session is killed, then all survivors have 33% gen repair speed or something like that. Am I correct in that? Oh my god, I gotta look it up. It's gonna bother me. It's been like such a long time since I've used like Dying Light. I'm not even trolling, man. Your session gains 32% speed. If the session is alive. Oh, okay. I did that completely wrong. I never really liked Dying Light, if I'm being honest. Each time you hook a survivor, other than the session, if the session is alive, gain a token. Like, yeah, it stacks and it builds up, but Dying Light, I'm gonna say it's situational. Like, if you have a build dedicated to it, and like if you want to play to a certain style and a play style, you will get some use out of it. Other than that, it's near pointless. This is borderline pointless, but I'm gonna say it's situational because I have seen a lot of people use this. Um, so I'm not gonna say it's pointless. I've never forget Freddy build. That is true. That is true. Dying Light was only used in stall builds and it's not used anymore. Yeah, exactly. So I'm saying, like, I go up against some killers. Like, I've seen people using Dying Light. I've seen it. I've never seen anyone fucking use Dominance. So, like, I'm gonna say, like, this is kind of situational. Like, there are some builds in some places where this is okay. This is cool. Just not a lot. Just not a lot, man. Just not a lot. Waking up at 3 and ranking perks is cool. W me. Here for a good time. Yeah, guys, by the way, like after we're done ranking all this, like I'm shutting the shit down. I'm doing some throat exercises or something because like my throat already hurts. Anyways, only Aaron used the perk for clown. Yeah. I don't think I've ever used it on clown. Personally. Enduring. That's an easy answer, guys. Let's be honest. Enduring is constant value. There's not a killer like guys. I deem constant value perks as perks that I can go play any killer in Dead by Daylight, whether I am experienced with them or not, and still have perk value. All of these perks you can use on any killer and get value from multiple times in a match. This is beautiful. Enduring, beautiful. Reduces the stun rate or the stun duration time by like 30% or like some percent, guys. All I know is like I kind of like miss out on the percentages of like a lot of these perks because I haven't used them in a long time, but I know the overall meaning. It's a meme perk with Spirit Fury Terminator build. That is true. It is kind of like I know it's used for like a lot of like fun and troll builds, but like overall, I think you can get consistent value with this. Eruption. If this was like a year ago, I would say Eruption was straight meta. It's kind of fallen from grace a little bit. I don't know if I want to put this as like constant. Oh man, this is technically constant value, right? Every time you kick a gen, if a survivor completes that gen, or no. Every time you kick a gen, if you down a survivor after kicking that gen explodes for 10% of its progression, also giving you aura read on any survivor who the gen blew up on if they were touching the gen, that is. I want to say you can get constant value because every time I've used it, I've gotten, for the most part, constant value. At the same time, I also feel like it's situational. I don't know. It's still an underrated perk. That is true. It's almost like Jolt, just kind of worse. I'm gonna say constant value. That might be like a little like controversial, maybe, or like a lot of people might disagree. But I'm gonna say constant value on Eruption. It's still like a really great perk, even though it's got a nerf. Fire Up. Easy constant value, man. Easy constant value. Just playing the game. There's nothing you have to do to activate this perk. There's nothing you have to even think about. You put on this perk, you are kicking gens faster, you're destroying pallets faster, you're vaulting faster, you're picking up faster, everything faster, bro. Like you're probably even faster in bed. Wow, now we're down to like a sub 3 seconds. Guys, I don't think you guys understand how fucking good this perk is, especially since it just got buffed. Like, oh my god, it's so good. Forced Hesitation. Fun/troll. Easy, man. Easy, bro. Forced Hesitation is a perk that after you down a survivor, every survivor within 16 meters of you is now hindered and cannot move as fast. It's very good in like slugging builds and like insta down kind of characters and things like that. I don't see it being anything other than like fun and troll. Underrated perk? I don't know. Who wants to kick gens now? Pain res gets the job done. I mean, you can't always, you may not always have your pain res stacks, man. Forced Penance. I'm not even gonna talk about that. That shit's so ass. Forever Entwined. Forever Entwined is the perk that allows you to pick up super quick after getting 8 health states out of survivors, I believe, right? Let me make sure. Let me make sure. Let me make sure. Let me make sure. Yep, yep. Whenever a survivor takes damage, gain 1 token up to 8, and for each token you pick up, drop, and hook survivors faster. So it's kind of like an alternate to fire up. You don't get as much as you do when you have fire up. And by as much, I mean like you don't get to, break doors, break pallets, and things like that faster. But you do get like an insane pickup and drop speed. And a lot of times that pickup and drop speed can catch flashlighters off guard, flashbangers off guard, or people that are like maybe trying to run with you to go sabo a hook. You can instantly drop the survivor. It's so quick, and you could just down that person before they make any distance. So I think it's perfect. Oh man, it's between fun slash troll. Like if you wanted to use it to troll or like have fun with, you can. You could also probably argue that this is constant value because like no matter what, you're gonna get injure states. So picking up and dropping, you're always gonna get value doing that. But at the same time, I feel like it's very like situational. Like you only really get value from this perk a lot of times if it's to get away from flashlighters. If it's like I said to like drop someone because like you need the pressure and they're just running around you like an idiot. At the same time, it could be said it helps you get hooks faster, which is insane value. So I don't know. I think I'm gonna leave it on depends on the situation. It just depends if there's flashlighters and people around you trying to actually like bug you, which does happen a lot, but I don't know. I'm gonna say situation. Franklin's demise. I kind of want to say fun slash troll, man. I'm not gonna lie. Franklin's demise. Every time you hit a survivor, they're gonna drop their item, and that item is basically gonna start disintegrating on the floor. It's kind of like you will get constant value, but they have to have items. So in a way, it's kind of like very situational, but I think it's very good for like trolling and just like, there's always like that Bubba that just wants to go and take your items and then teabag your item and sit on it like it's a fucking baby bird egg or something like that. You know what I mean? That's kind of like the only time that you're going to use this perk when you're trying to like fuck around. Friends till the end. Okay. Okay. I know what you're thinking. I know what you're thinking. No shot. No way. This guy needs to get his cranium checked. Look. Say what you want about Friends till the end. This perk is so strong. It's so strong. Depends on killer. Okay. It depends. Okay. There are 2 ways you can use this perk. One, for informational purposes, period, bro. Period. I don't think you guys understand. This is like a better, like in a way, a better barbecue, at least for me, right? Instead of using barbecue, I will use Friends to the end. If I hook my obsession, or I believe, is this the one that with the obsession or without the obsession? Hold on. Give me a second. Because I also like get it mixed up. Okay, yeah, this is my obsession. Wait, no. When you hook someone that is not the obsession. Okay, either way. You can use this perk for like so many other builds. Anyways, when I hook someone that is not my obsession, it gives me another obsession, and then that person is now exposed for like 20 seconds. Now, are you going to be able to find that person and down them within those 20 seconds? 99% of the time, you're not. And that's all right. But there are situations in which it will Friends till the end someone that is literally within eyesight of you. And then you get a free down. Also, and that's only one way this is useful, right? The other way is the information it gives you, period. You get like 10 seconds of free aura read on a survivor, man. On any survivor. Okay, not on any survivor, but on the survivor that is Friends to the end, a random survivor, one of the 4. You get eyes on them for 10 seconds. If you have Lethal Pursuer, that's another like 2 seconds added. You can get eyes on someone for 12 seconds and can easily make it to them wherever they are. So you always know where one person is. You know what I mean? Any new DBD codes? I don't think so. Benedil, I don't think so. Only the obsession. Yeah, but like you're always gonna have an obsession. So like you're always gonna get it on like one person, and it switches the obsession. You know what I mean? So like even if you kill your obsession, you can get a new one. Or like if you're running with like Nemesis, Bro, okay. Guys. I know corrupt on meta is crazy choice. You think? You think? I don't know, man. I don't know. Like I said, like, these are gonna be some like probably some hot fucking takes. But guys, I think Friends to the End is like up there in the like the upper echelon of perks. At least for me, man. I could run this on any killer and get crazy amounts of value. It may not be like an insane amount of value and maybe not have as much as an impact on my games like in a day-to-day basis as like something like DMS or Deadlock or like a Jolt would. But oh man, for me, it like it teeters, bro. It literally teeters on the line between constant value and meta. I don't know. If someone goes down in this 120 seconds, the perk stops and the perk is useless. Yes, but anyone with literal like brains and who uses this perk knows to just not down them. And just like the second hand ability of what Corrupt does, Corrupt blocks the three closest gens to the survivors, inherently forcing the survivors to the middle of the map, closer to you, which allows you to start getting pressure earlier on and it forces them to try and find gens. It basically removes the whole aspect of like survivor spawning and immediately getting on a generator. It buys you so much, like it basically buys you like 2 to 3 minutes extra of game time. It's like a reverse no way out if you know how to use it right. And then also if you run no way out, you basically just gave yourself like an extra like 4 or 5 minutes of extra game time. It's really nice. I love it. It's crazy. Leverage. I think leverage, if you're using an anti-heal build, it's kind of nuts. But other than using an anti-heal build, I don't think leverage is really like really bad perk. Yeah, I don't honestly like when it works beautifully. But Game of Foot? Is this Game of Foot? Wait. We only got pictures here. We don't got fucking titles. What? Skull, right? Oh, this is leverage. Oh, well, look, the pictures are like very similar, man. Okay, Game of Foot. Damaging generators and breaking walls or pallets gives you 5% haste for 10 seconds. Yeah, but I think where to go? I think it's fun / troll. Leverage the other perk. Okay. I think it's fun / troll. Honestly. Like people are using this when they're trying to run like play with your food. They're trying to like change up sessions. They're trying to like maybe pop fucking Rancor on every single survivor in the match. Like they're using it to just like literally troll. Like they're not like I don't think you're gonna get constant value, but I think it's a fun / troll perk. Also, Friends on meta is a crazy choice in my opinion. I know a lot of people are gonna come after me. Wow, it's so great, right? Oh my god, Gearhead. I want to say you get constant value from Gearhead. At the same time, it's really hard to see the aura of survivors on a generator. I don't know why. Maybe it's just me. But if I was able to see like survivors' auras a lot easier when they're doing a generator, bro, this is constant. Every time you injure someone, if they hit a good skill check or like a great skill check, I believe, or it's either one. I don't know exactly for sure. You get aura read on them. It's huge, bro. Like survivors are gonna be on generators. They're gonna be hitting the skill checks because they literally have to, or blows up the gen. And all you have to do is play the game normally and injure people. When you injure people, you get Gearhead. It's perfect, man. Gearhead is a really underrated perk. Gearhead is good on Huntress. It's because of Reshade. Without Reshade, you see the aura perfect. Okay, yeah, that's on me. My bad. I don't want my game to look poo-poo. Genetic limits. I think genetic limits is kind of pointless. Like, I'm not gonna hold you guys. Like, it could be situational. It could be argued for situational. Genetic limits. What when you injure someone, they become exhausted or some shit like that. Is that what genetic limits is? Yeah. Anytime a survivor loses a health state, they become exhausted for 8 seconds. Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, it could be useful. It could be situational, but like, let's be honest. Not that many people are really running exhaustion perks like nowadays. And also, like, even if they are 8 seconds, they drop one pallet and they're able to use their exhaustion again. It's not really crazy, in my opinion. Just make survivor aura with reshade blue and normal aura looks red. I could do that? Oh my god, that's tech. Wait, that's actually tech. Dude, I struggle to see auras all the time. I can never see them. It's so rare for me to actually see like a survivor aura. Unless it's a dark map, I just can't see them. Devour Hope. Oh man. Guys, look, we're all kind of almost done. Devour Hope. I'm teetering between situational and fun slash troll. Let's be honest, you're kind of trolling if you're using this perk. You're kind of using it just like, I don't know, inevitably end up mooring everyone in the game. At the same time, in some situations with some builds, especially if it's like a full like hex build and like they just can't cleanse it, it's actually insane. I'm gonna say it's situational. In the situation in which you are using a full hex build, this is amazing. Other than that, it's kind of poo-poo. Hangman's Trick. I don't think we need to say anything else. Blood Favor. This is so tough, man. Blood Favor, I want to say you're going to get constant value from. At the same time, if it gets cleansed, it's kind of like it's so fucking bad, man. Like you just wasted a perk. It's kind of tough to put hex perks in the the constant value or like the consistent value, primarily because like it could not get cleansed at all, and it's just like busted, bro. Like you're floating through the game, or it gets cleansed immediately and you're down a perk. I think I'm just gonna put it on constant value. Like let's say it just doesn't get cleansed and you actually have it. It's such an oppressive perk. So good on Kaneki. Um, also good on Legion. But any killer can get value from this. And a lot of value. Coop is meta. You always get the hit, in my opinion. I don't know. I don't always get the hit with Coop. I mean, I guess it kind of just depends, right? When you use it and also like the loop that you're on. Because a lot of times I'll use it and like I'll get auto aimed or like maybe like it'll just barely like hit like the edge of a fucking rock when I'm trying to like go around a loop. But if they're like in a straight line, and like yeah, it's kind of free. If they're like shooting for a window, like yeah, I always get that hit. And then even if they try and dodge it, like you just flick your mouse and like you still get the hit. Kind of perfect. All right, moving on to Grim Embrace. Easily meta, man. I don't know a single person sitting here or anyone who plays Dead by Daylight in 2025 that is not thinking of Grim Embrace in like the meta category or in like not the S tier category. Grim Embrace blocks a gen or every gen for 10 seconds every time you get a hook. And then after you've hooked everyone one time, it blocks all the gens for like almost a minute. It's so strong, man. It's so strong. We don't even need to like talk about it anymore, bro. But we're gonna speed past that one. Face the Darkness. I think Face the Darkness kind of like depends on the situation. It's borderline fun slash troll, and it's honestly borderline slash constant value. But it's really best utilized when using a full hex build because then you could just run like ruin and all this like crazy shit. And then if they're trying to like cleanse the totem, you put this with Thrill the Hunt and they scream every 25 seconds, making them literally start back to zero and they just literally can't cleanse it. And it's like super oppressive in that state. Other than that, you're not gonna really get that much use out of it. You remember the older one? So every time someone hits a normal skill check, the gen regresses, and it was no hex, and also no, it was no hex. I remember Noed not being a hex. It was like the time to be alive, man. And also like there was no aura read on the totem, so no survivor could ever fucking find it, man. Like I don't know, you had a better chance of finding $100 in the middle of a street than like literally finding Noed. And Ruin, I remember Ruin being like 3 or like I think Ruin was either 3 or like 500% like regression speed. It was so nuts. Now it's only like 100, kind of poo poo. Noed. Oh my god. OG, triple OG. I'm gonna consider Noed meta. Say what you want. Any perk that allows you to insta down any survivor, especially at endgame, is so insane. Also, it gives you haste. It gives you the ability to move faster at the end of the game by 4%. Noid catches, like, Noid has single-handedly won thousands of games and saved fucking hundreds of win streaks for, like, killer mains over these, like, 8, 9 years of Dead by Daylight. This is an OG, triple OG fucking perk, man. And till this day, it is still one of the strongest perks in Dead by Daylight. It's a little bit nerfed and not as good as it once was, but it still holds its own very well. Hunter's Lullaby. I think Hunter's Lullaby with the right build, and like playing, like Doctor, it's kind of insane. At the same time, it's kind of trolly in a way. Fuck, man, I don't know. I'm not gonna overthink it. I'm gonna say depends on the situation. Haunted Ground. I think it's a fun / trolly perk. Let's be honest. Everyone uses it in hopes, man. Everyone is praying that someone cleanses it. A lot of times when I use it, it doesn't really get cleansed. A lot of people like recognize it, but at the same time, when you do get the value from it, it makes every single survivor exposed in the trial for 60 seconds. And that itself is fucking nutty. And when you actually get hits off of it, it feels so good, man. I had in my last stream someone cleanse a haunted ground totem whilst I was right behind a survivor about to hit them for the very first time. It was my first chase of the game. Someone cleansed it. That person got down instantly and just fled the scene. Left, went to go play Roblox, I'm pretty sure. It was the funniest shit ever. Pentimento. Now, if I was doing this tier list literally just a month ago, I would say Pentimento is meta. Now, I think Pentimento is kind of pointless. After its nerf, it got butchered so hard. I don't really think this perk is even worth running nowadays. At the same time, it could be deemed situational, but I just don't see a situation in which you even want to run Pentimento anymore. I don't know, man. That might be a hot take, but it's so fucking bad now. They took out everything this perk had to offer. Now it's just poo-poo. Plaything. Plaything could be argued as constant value, meta, and fun / troll. I think personally, Plaything is just like fun / like a trolly perk to run. At the same time, you could get constant value because you're gonna hook okay, well, you might not hook everyone in a trial, but every time you do, no one is able to hear you until they find their totem and cleanse it. But mainly it's used for like Silent Billy bullshit and like all these other like undetectable builds that people try and run for like killers and things like that. So it's kind of meant to just like fuck around and like have some fun and troll with it. Ruin. Bro, I've been seeing so many people running Ruin as of lately. I've been using it. It's so good when it doesn't get cleansed immediately, but when it gets cleansed immediately, it feels so fucking bad. I think you can get constant. Okay, I'm not gonna put this under meta. I'm gonna put it under constant value, primarily because although it's not as great as, sorry, I had a burp. Although it's not as great as it once was, you can still get like a crazy amount of value at the beginning of the game. You put this on, you go patrolling gens, you don't even have to stop to kick a gen. Ruin will start regressing it for you while you're in chase. The value of that is fucking insurmountable. Also, if you have like DMS, if you have Grim, this just goes on top of that and it makes it such a versatile perk. I'm going to put it as constant value. What is this? Hex Third Seal, I believe. Right? Hold on. Let me be sure. Pretty sure. Wait. Hex Third Seal. Yep. This one just applies blindness. All right. I think if you're using this perk, you're kind of just throwing, man. Like it's really fucking bad, man. Like, one, it's a hex. I don't even know why it's a fucking hex, but the last 4 people you hit are blinded. They just can't see the aura of other survivors. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Like, you could put it as like, you could like probably justify it as like fun slash troll, but let's be real, it's fucking throwing. It's pointless. Undying. I don't care what anyone says. Undying is meta, man. Like, the ability to have a second chance of a strong ass like hex totem is insane. You have Undying, someone goes to cleanse your Noed in endgame, they finally get your Noed, and guess what? You still have another Noed because Undying has basically given you another Noed. Also, this perk on its own gives aura read to any survivor walking by one of these totems within like 4 to 8 meters, something like that. Or maybe it's only 2 meters. I'm not exactly sure on like the meters. So there are random times throughout the match that you'll just get random aura reads on survivors. Like, this perk is needed on every hex build, bro. I deem it as meta. I'm going to say it's meta. You can probably say it's constant value, but I'm going with meta. Hoarder. Man, like, if this was like a few years ago and like Pinhead was still fucking using it, it would be insane. But I think Hoarder is literally just fucking useless, man. Like, nowadays, it's so bad. It's so bad. Thrill of the Hunt. I'm going to say this depends on the situation, primarily because it increases the time it takes to cleanse any hex totems by like 10%, I believe, or like 14%, something like that, which is insane, man. It's so good. It's literally one of like the best like hex perks to run. But at the same time, unless you're running like a full hex build, it's pointless to use. So I'm just going to say depends on the situation. Hex 2 can play. Pretty fucking pointless, man. Like, I like maybe fun slash troll. Actually, I'm gonna put it in fun slash troll. Let's not say it's like completely pointless. I've actually had this used on me one time. I pallet stunned a killer. I got blinded. He had brutal strength. He got the pallet out of the way, and by the time I got unblinded, he was already like right behind me. I couldn't make proper distance because I couldn't see. So it kind of worked. That guy ended up getting a 0K, but like, you know, in a way, it's fun to like mess around with. Hubris. After being pallet stunned or stunned, that survivor is now exposed for 20 seconds. This perk, when it first came out, everyone would like thought was gonna be insanely meta, like so OP. Little did they know, you have like 20 seconds to down a survivor after they stun you, even with enduring. If they loop that pallet at all, or make it to any pallet in general, that timer runs out and you have a useless perk. But it's kind of fun to try and mess around and get. What is this? Dominus, right? Or is this Wretched Fate? No, this is Wretched Fate. This is fuck. Dracula. Oh, it's Human Greed. This is Dominance. What the fuck am I on? Human Greed. This is fucking pointless. Yep. Human Greed allows you to literally close chests that have been opened by survivors. That's fucking pointless, man. I don't even know why that's a perk. I don't know who came up with that. It's literally poo-poo. Hex Wretched Fate. I think this one is situational. If it's the one that I remember, right? Okay, Hex Wretched Fate. The obsession suffers 33% penalty, and they also see this hex totem aura within 12 meters. I know what you're thinking. They can see the totem. It's kind of poo-poo. But if you have a full hex build, you're basically getting rid of one survivor during the trial. This is so huge. You have your obsession. So all you do is go for everyone that is not your obsession. And yeah, your obsession is free to do whatever they want, yada, yada. At the same time, they do everything 33% slower. That is such a fucking nerf. It's crazy. So you basically put yourself in a 1v3 situation the entire game, as long as you don't go for your obsession. It's actually really good. I actually really like it. Hysteria. I'm not going to say it's like pointless, but I think if you're trolling, it's actually not bad. Infectious Fright. honestly, I think Infectious Fright you can get constant value with. Anytime you down a survivor, any survivor that is within your terror radius screams, revealing their location. It's such a great just informational perk overall to know like who's in your surrounding area. For that constant value, easy, easy, easy. I'm trying to like speed run a lot of this because we've kind of been here for a long time. I don't know how long yet. Wait, how long? Uh oh, it's only been 2 hours. Oh, bro, I'm killing it, bro. I'm killing it. Insidious. We all know Insidious, bro. This shit's just this shit is just for your Bubba main who likes to sit in basement and wants to relive the glory years of living with their parents and drinking Mountain Dew and playing Sega Genesis. That's literally all Insidious is ever used for. Iron Grasp. This is constant value. It's one of those perks that just it gives your character and any killer you play a buff, right? It makes it to where the survivors wiggle out 75% slower. Oh my god, you can carry a person from one side of the map to almost the other. With like if paired with agitation, you can carry them wherever you want on the map, and they'll probably still be on your shoulder. It's so good. I love it. OG perk, beautiful. Knockout. If this was the previous knockout before the nerf, like dude, the nerf, I don't know, man. You see a survivor's aura, or like what is it? A survivor is hindered for like a couple of seconds if they drop a pallet and leave. Like, I don't really know. Like, by the time you even get to them, like you have to break the pallet to get to them most times, or vault a window. And by the time you do any of that, the hindered is gone. So like, you can't even fucking do anything with this, man. It's kind of pointless now. Iron Maiden. I guess this depends on the situation, right? If you're playing like a Huntress or something, they fucking gig and like buff the reload speed, so you really don't need this perk anymore. At the same time, in certain situations, I could see you getting some value from this, but it's very situational. It's borderline throwing / pointless. No one uses this perk anymore. There's no need. It just makes whoever hops into a locker and back out exposed for like 20 seconds. Some situations, like people who love to hide, perfect. Anyone else, no use. I'm all ears. I want to say you can get constant value from this because survivors are always like fast vaulting, especially in chase, and this does help maybe at Shack mind game a little, but the cooldown is just so fucking long, man. Like it's one of those like, why the fuck would I use this when there's like other better perks type thing. I think this just depends on the situation. Like, I'm not gonna say it's like pointless. Like, it's aura read, you know, when someone quick vaults anything. So it's not terrible, but not very good. Leverage reduces the healing speed of survivors under a hook. I think this is easy situational. It could also be said as constant value because a lot of times when survivors unhook another survivor, they like to not waste any time and just heal under the hook. If they try and heal under the hook, they do it 50% slower. So it's like a big nerf to survivors. So it's not terrible. It's not terrible. It's just not that great. What is this? Languid Touch. I know the name of the perk. I'm not gonna lie. I kind of forgot what it does. Languid. When a survivor within 36 meters of you scares a crow, they suffer from exhausted. All right. So this is just poo poo, right? Yep. Languid Touch is just poo poo. Lethal Pursuer, bro. Meta, bro. I don't even think we have to say anything else. Having the ability to see every single survivor at the start of the match and know exactly where to go it gives you such a strong start. And if you're using any other aura reading perk, it gives you 2 seconds on top of like whatever that the base time the aura read is for those perks. It's so good, man. It's so good. Everyone loves that perk. Furtive Chase. Although I love this, guys, I fucking love Furtive Chase so much. And you can get constant value, but I really do think it is situational. Essentially, when you hook your obsession, you gain undetectable for like 16 seconds, and you also gain like a 10% haste during that time. Man, it's so good in like obsession switching builds, but if you're not using it in obsession switching build and you're just using it by itself, it's not as great. So it might just be fun. But I'm gonna put on depends on the situation. I don't know. That's on me. That's on me. Hex crowd control. This is a toughie. In some ways, I want to say constant value. Okay, Hex crowd control, for those of you that don't know, whenever a survivor vaults, it blocks that window up to, what is it, like 10 vaults or some shit? 15 vaults or something like that? Kind of crazy. At the same time, it can be cleansed, and once it's cleansed, it's kind of gone. Like Hex perks are very tough to say if they give you like constant value or not. No one uses this perk, and honestly, like I don't know why. It's not that bad. I'm gonna put it depends on the situation. If you're in a situation where you're running a like hex build and you can like prevent them from cleansing this, it's really strong. But other than that, you're probably not gonna get that much use out of it. Like I don't know, man. Hex retribution. I want to put this under constant value. At the same time, unless you're using, oh man, this is so such this perk literally depends on your survivors. Not on you, nothing you could do. Literally depends on your survivors. If people see a hex totem and just brainlessly cleanse it, it's huge. Gives you aura read on all survivors for such a long amount of time. If they don't, then you have a lit hex totem that sits there for the entire game. I'm gonna put like depends on the situation. It literally just depends. Lightborn. I think it's a fun / trolly perk. Prevents you from being blinded, which is so huge. And nowadays, when people are just trying to like background player, flashlight, 360 YY, fucking blind you with flashbangs and things like that. And also, you get to see their aura, which is like an added bonus, but never really needed because you're not blind. But I think it's a fun / trolly perk. Machine learning. Also, I think a fun / trolly perk. Whenever you kick a generator and that generator is completed, you gain undetectable for like, what is it, like a minute, I think it is. And then also on top of that, you gain like a 10% haste or 15% haste. This could be used to like absolutely sneak up on some people, like on some like scratch, or not some scratch, but like on like some jump scare type shit, if you will. And like you can get crazy amount of value in that way, but other than that, you just can't. Mad grit. Oh my god, bro. The definition of like fun / troll. Every time you're holding a survivor and you injure another survivor, the wiggle timer of the survivor on your arms is paused, basically making to where you just committed a crime and kidnapped that person. Very fun. Very fun. Make your choice. I think depending on the situation, depending on your build, depending on the map, you could get some value out of make your choice. But it's gonna be very little. A lot of times people just like to like, if they're make your choice, to just hide. And it's borderline pointless and useless, especially since you have to be so far away for this to even proc. The only time you can really get value out of this is if you're running like floods with it. And even at that, it's not a for sure thing because you might just like if they're two people wearing like the same outfit or they're the same character, then you just can't tell them apart and you might just be chasing the wrong one. And if they have vigil, your timer is like decreased by like 20 seconds. Depends on the situation, man. Depends on the situation. Borderline throwing and pointless. Merciless Storm. I think this is kind of like a trolley perk nowadays. Like, it used to be so good. It used to be meta. Nowadays, it's just like, it's so easy to hit those skill checks. Like, I don't. And it's so bad now. Like, they've nursed this perk into the ground, man. I don't know. Mindbreaker. I want to say depends on the situation as well. Mindbreaker is a perk that when you're on a gen, it leaves you oblivious and exhausted. Or is it oblivious or is it blind? One of the two. Either way, as long as they're on a gen. So like if you're running an undetectable build and you run up on someone, they're not going to be able to sprint burst away. They may not even like hear your terror radius. It's kind of like perfect, you know. At the same time, survivors nowadays are so aware, and they have like wiretap. They also have the solo queue shit, in which they know if you're even chasing someone. So if they know that you're not chasing anyone, they're gonna be on edge. They're gonna be looking around, and it's gonna be very hard to like get the jump on them. Unless you're on like Hawkins or something, and it's very like tight corners. It's a very situational perk. Monitor and abuse. I think you can get constant value out of Modern Abuse. Modern Abuse is a perk that, when in chase, your terror radius is decreased by. No, when you're in chase, your terror radius is increased by 8 meters, and when you're not in chase, it's decreased. It gives you a chance, like any killer you're on, it gives you a chance to like probably sneak up on people, or maybe make their time to make it to like a safe pallet, like a lot less. It's kind of like a sleeper perk. Not a lot of people like use it that much, but I do think you can get constant value when using this perk, especially in 2025. Nemesis. I fucking love Nemesis, man. Oh my god, I love Nemesis. I almost want to put I think I'm going to put constant value for Nemesis. Is that crazy, man? I don't know. Like Nemesis, every time you hook a survivor, you change. No, it's every time you get stunned, you change obsessions, and then when you change your obsession, you get an aura read on your obsession. A lot of times, if you pair this with like Friends to the End, it's perfect. If you pair this with like Rancor, it's perfect. If you just literally get stunned by a pallet and like forcibly take that pallet, it's perfect. It, it, there's so many like builds you can create while using this perk, and I fucking love it, man. It may not be constant value, it may be situational, but since I love it so much, I may be a little bit biased. No quarter. I don't know. Fuck, dude, this perk is like literally useless, man. Like I don't know, dude. Like I've used this in anti-heal builds. It rarely works. It's so easy to hit the skill checks, and even if they miss it, they're just broken for like a minute, which is it's really good. At the same time, is it worth like a perk slot? You know, I'd rather just run sloppy and get my consistent value than just like hope and pray that they miss a skill check. You know what I mean? I'm gonna put it pointless. I don't know, man. People might find that one kind of crazy and think that it might be situational, but for me, I think it's just like pointless to use. I've tried using it on so many occasions, and like so many times, people just like, maybe it's like a high MMR thing that like it's just poo poo, but maybe you know, it could just be argued that at low MMR it's fucking insane. So I wouldn't know though. I wouldn't know. No Way Out. Easy meta, bro. Easy meta, bro. You can block the exit gates for up to an extra minute in game. That's so nuts, man. None are free. This is Kaneki's new perk, which blocks all windows and upright pallets for upwards to a minute in endgame. It sounds nuts, but I also think they just nerfed this, but I haven't looked into the nerf on just yet. I want to say like you could probably get constant value from this. But at the same time, people might be hiding, especially if they see the perks active. But it might overall just be kind of like a trolly thing to bring. That way, at end game, you could just get easy downs. That's if you can find someone. Because majority of times when survivors do recognize perks like this, they just hide. They hide, and you just miss out on all the value you get. Nowhere to hide. I think you can get constant value with Nowhere to Hide. Nowhere to Hide, it could be argued that it is just situational, right? Obviously, every time you kick a gen, any survivors within 24 meters of that gen get revealed. But every time I use Nowhere to Hide in a game, I typically get at least like 3 to 5 procs, which help me find people just ratting. And like it's such like a underrated perk, I feel. I don't know. That might just be me, but I'm gonna put it under consistent value. Oppression. I think this depends on situation. Depending on the situation and what build you are running, this could be really insane. Every time you kick one generator, two other generators also start regressing. When matched with like surveillance and maybe I don't know, like Hall of Brine or like Eruption, it might be not bad. If you can do that. I'm actually not sure. Overcharge. Also depends on the situation. You kick a gen, it gives them a hard skill check. This is also like not bad with oppression. And if they miss it, basically regresses the gen like 10%. It's okay, but like unless you're running like a specific build, it's kind of dookie. Like I'm not gonna say it's pointless because like it does give you a good amount of gen regression, and a lot of times with these great skill checks, a lot of people miss them, especially if you're playing like Doctor. If you have like maybe like DMS, sometimes it'll just pop up, or Grim, I mean, and it's just perfect. Overwhelming presence. Straight poo poo, bruh. Straight poo poo. It just makes survivor items, their consumption increase, and it just makes them run out of their shit faster. Very bad. Play with your food. Everyone knows it's just a fun / troll perk. People only use it when trying to run speedy builds. And let's be honest, guys, when this update comes out in a couple of weeks, removing hindered and haste status effects, this perk is going to be literally useless. No one is going to be using this anymore, which is sad because it is like an OG perk. Pop the Weasel. Oh my god. Meta, bro. So meta. This used to be 30% every time you kick a gen after you've gotten a hook. Now it's only 25, and I still think it's so fucking strong. Or is it 20 now? I think it's 20. Either way, it's such a strong fucking perk. I love using Pop Goes the Weasel. Predator. We're not even gonna fucking talk about that, but like I don't know who fucking uses that for like scratch marks and stuff. Rancor. I think Rancor is very like fun / trolly. It allows you to mori your obsession at the end of the game, and also throughout the game, every time a gen is completed, you see their aura. I think it's like it might be considered like situational, but at the same time, like majority of the time, you're using it just to like fuck around and troll and to like make one person's life a living hell. Or you're using like Game of Foot and you're trying to just like Rancor the entire team and try and just give yourself a challenge, which is also fun. Not bad, not bad. Rapid Brutality. I think Rapid Brutality is meta, man. I don't know. Hot take. It could be, bro. It's close to constant value, but for me, like Rapid Brutality is meta because it's meta for M1 killers, right? M1 killers, you M1 someone, you get this 5% haste for 10 seconds. It allows you to catch right back up to the survivors and or catch them and beat them from going all the way around a loop. If paired with Save the Best for Last, it's fucking ultra meta, man. It's so good. Same thing with Save the Best for Last. Bro, this perk at 8 stacks is unbelievably nuts. Even in its lower stacks at like 2 to 4, it's still insane. It allows you to recover from hitting someone so quickly. It's so good. Remember Me. Remember Me, I'm going to put as constant value. I'm not going to say it depends on situation or throwing or fun or troll. It's a perk that every time you hit your obsession for up to like 4 or 5 stacks, it adds an extra like 6 seconds to the gate time. And it's so strong. Any perk that allows you to keep survivors in the trial longer is so fucking OP. I love Remember Me, especially since it just got buffed. Floods. I'm going to say this is constant value as well, primarily because with Floods of Rage, every time a survivor gets unhooked that is placed on a scourge hook, you see the aura of all survivors. This might be like borderline meta, but I think it's just constant value. And I know like some people might just say, oh, this is situational because you might just not be able to get scourge hooks. But I'm talking about in the case of you actually utilizing the perk, you're always going to get value and always see everyone's aura, unless they're running like a, distortion or something like that. Gift of Pain. I think this is tough. This is tough. I want to say depends on the situation, but I also want to say like constant value because every time you hook someone after they've been unhooked and healed, They do everything like 15% slower until you injure them again. So it's like every time you hook someone, you're gonna get value from this. You're gonna be in a match. You're gonna hook people. They're gonna get this on them, and it's also like a really strong perk overall. I think personally, I think I'm gonna put it at constant value. That may be a toughie. Like I said, that it could go either way between like situational and like constant value. Because this could be argued as well. Like, okay, well, I need to find a scorch hook to even like activate this and hope that I don't re-injure. Like this is not going to be a good perk if you're like a person that tends to tunnel a lot. But it is a really good perk if like you're a nice person and just I don't know, don't play like a scumbag. Oh my god, wait, is this Hangman's trick? Wait, what did I say like before? Or did I get Hangman's trick twice? Oh my gosh, where is it? Oh yeah, I did. It's still Hangman's trick. Still poo poo. I guess we had a double in there. That's fine. Um. Oh my god, how master perk? I can't fucking think of it. Compass. I think depending on the situation, like okay, in a way, you can always get constant value from this. This perk allows you to see the gen. Okay, one, it allows you to make hooks that aren't scorch hooks, basically giving you extra scorch hooks and more possibilities to utilize your other scorch perks. At the same time, this has a second ability which allows you to see the aura of the gen with the most progression. And that in itself is very strong because after you get a hook, you can have pop and just go and pop that generator. It's so good informational value. So I don't know. I think I want to say constant value, man. Is that bro? I'm gonna say constant value. I am. I'm gonna do it. Like the second hand use of that perk is so valuable. Knowing which generator is most progressed and knowing that you can go over there and just like kick it and maybe like camp it, patrol it, and basically render that gen like gone. It's so huge, man. Especially like if you have pop and things like that. Scourge Pain Res. I don't even think we gotta talk about this one, man. Like that shit is just so it's so strong, man. Hooking someone and removing 25% of a gen and not even having to like think about what gen it is. It doesn't matter who's on it. It's gonna pop, and 25% of the gen is gone. That's so huge. Monstrous Shrine. I think it's fun / trolly. It's borderline pointless and useless. At the same time, if you're a trapper or a bubba and you're just trying to like murder someone in the basement, Monstrous Shrine will help you do that 20% faster and also make people very angry at you. So there's that. Septic Touch. Straight poo poo. Like, that's just straight poo poo. Shadowborn. Also poo poo. And Shattered Hope. Also poo poo. Bro, it saved like all like the boo boo ones for last, man. Like, who the fuck like is gonna be running Shattered Hope and stomping on a boon totem and being happy about it being destroyed? You know what I mean? Like a lot of times, the only time I don't know, man. I don't know. You only get used out of that if people are booning. And that's it. That's literally it. But like you could just go kick the boon and force him to go like in a way you're nerfing yourself. Yes, they can't go and create another boon. At the same time, if they're constantly just creating boons, they're spending so much time creating those boons that they're not on gens. Basically like nerfing them. So you're kind of just cooking yourself if you run it. Like I don't know what the fuck the point of it is. Oh my God. That is it, guys. That is it. That is all 130 killer perks in Dead by Daylight 2025 as of fucking, what is this? April 18th, 2025. This is every single perk in Dead by Daylight, tier listed from meta to constant value to fun / troll to depends on the situation or situational and just straight up throwing and pointless if you're running this perk. A lot of you guys may not agree with my decisions here today, but at the same time, I don't know. Argue with me in the comment section, bro. Like, that's all I can say, man. Oh, man. That took such a long time. That actually took such a long time. My throat is absolutely cooked / parched. I don't think I have a career singing Disney on Ice anymore. So, yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this. Oh, dude, it only took 2.5 hours. Wait, Pog. Bro, I thought easy, like 4 hours, 5 hours, 2.5 hours. Bro, I fucking killed that shit, bro. Oh my God. I'm so happy with that. No, I'm actually so happy with that. That's so good. All right, well, I think I'm gonna go cry now. This was fun. This was fun. Oh man. Bro, I killed that, man. I actually killed that. So good. I think my throat is like absolutely like ravished though. Not bad. Not bad. Guys. For those of you that are still watching, that's basically it, man. That's basically it. Today we were just gonna tier list all the perks. Typically, these tier lists take me like 4 hours. I'm so surprised it took me under 3. Basically under 2.5. I've never done that before. Oh my God. Maybe I'm just getting better at my job. I don't know. Am I cooking? I don't think I got off topic and yapped that much, and maybe that's why. Regardless, this was fun. This was fun. I want to do more tier lists. I need to do more tier lists. I just tend to yap a lot, and they end up being so long. And by the time I'm done, like doing them, like my throat is like cooked. I don't know, guys. I think I got like an issue, and I should probably like see a doctor. But every time like I talk more than like 20-30 minutes, my throat just like hurts, bro. Just literally like gone. Like I'm not speaking at all like the following day. But fuck it, it's fine. It's fine. It's all right. That being said, guys, thank you guys for checking out the stream. I absolutely appreciate it. Thank you guys for hanging out with me while I did this tier list, this little like controversial fucking tier list, I guess. We will be back streaming on Monday. Doing some more Dead by Daylight. I think I'm gonna try and like finish up all my adept achievements. I don't even know if I'm gonna fucking end up finishing it. It's probably gonna take me like 1 or 2 more streams, but I'm gonna try and finish it. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys have a great fucking weekend, man. Hope you guys have a great weekend. This was fun. This was fun. This is good. This was good. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I hope you guys have a great fucking weekend. I'll see you guys on Monday. Thank you for hanging out with me. It's been fun.
Sometimes life will push you down.